Uh, What you
How's
how
it
you
going?
doing? And
I'm
now,
doing all right.
all right, guys, we're live. Welcome back to episode 14 of Debating Wolves. I'm your host, Judge Dre. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and post a link in the description box. That way, you guys can go ahead and chime in on the next topic here. We're gonna talk about the prescription drug industry, pharmaceuticals, conspiracy theories that you think anything related to that. Right there, I'll post the link in the box so you guys can join. There's the link there. I'm not going to leave it up too long, so if you want to join, go ahead and join now. That way, uh, I don't have to worry about the trolls. So how's it going, man?
Hey, how's it going? CMG's returned.
How you
Drop
doing,
some
MG?
knowledge.
Okay, I think we got the room will fill up in just a second.
Right, right. I think I sent it out to there, so they all should be coming already. I want to thank you guys out there for watching the show. Any new users, please like, share, subscribe, and definitely hit that donate button down there because that's what keeps the show going right now. Let all your friends know everyone is welcome here on our panel. We don't hold any grudges. The only thing we do is talk about opinions. Your opinions will be criticized, scrutinized, or whatever you want to call it. But you don't have to worry about any personal attacks here. If you need the link to join the show, just ask. I'll post it for you. I don't leave it up too long because I want to avoid the trolls. How you doing, KP and Mrs. KP?
Doing great, doing great.
Now, MG is, he was on our last show. He was actually going in about to tell us something. Why don't you go ahead and start right there, MG, to where you were? Because now we got a fresh show to talk about it all.
Yeah, I think we were like just cracking in on pun intended on this over prescribing Adderall and these amphetamines to our children at an early age. And a lot of the times it'll be, the kids are in a negative environment, things are rough, da 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 da, and so the kid's natural response to a negative environment would be, some of the things that he's displaying, some of the behaviors that he's displaying. So you would want to work on that environment, not on the child, not something about the child is wrong, right? Because he's actually having a natural reaction, a regular, decent, regular reaction to a negative environment. And so they'll say, oh, well, you need to medicate him, and then they'll give him some Adderall or, whatever, the Ritalin and those things. And those are amphetamines. That is literally get him hooked on the future. And you know what I'm talking about. Now he needs to look for that next, what's that high? Where's that high at that's closest to that? Oh, guess what? It's crank. Get the fuck out of here.
Generation of speed.
Yeah. So, we got that going on, and it's not like you really got a bunch of farmers and trailers making crank. No, this is big time factory CIA shit for the amount of crank that's out there. It ain't no bunch of they want to promote that and show like people trying and blowing little tiny rigs up, so they can always say, see, that's where it comes from, trailer park people, and that's bullshit. We know that's bullshit.
White people do it too.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
that's
they
why they
do.
call it crank, right? Because it was in the motorcycle crankcases. And
Oh, wow. I was the only one that
Right.
knew that.
They'd put it in the
That's
crankcase
true.
of the motorcycle.
That's why it was called crank, because it was
Yeah.
that's where they used to hide it.
That's hilarious. I had no idea.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah.
Nope,
Most
I
people
did
don't.
not
White
know that.
people's cool, man.
That's why.
cool.
That's how I got the name crank.
Nope, I had no idea. I learn something new every day.
Good shit.
Yeah, that's the reason why it was
See, the
called.
thing is, though, man, like I said, you go to the suburbs, that's where you find the biggest cases of fucking Adderall. You don't find that shit in the hood.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's with your white soccer moms.
You do now, but you're right. It started off when it was people with insurance, right? But see, now everybody's got that insurance, fool. So yeah,
Because think about it, like we said
you
on the
know.
last show, you can get your kid fucking diagnosed with shit, and they pop them Adderall for their shit, and then mom, they give her Adderall for weight loss.
Yeah.
So now she can get motivated to get up and work out.
What?
Now
Matter of
she
fact,
has 2
wait a
prescriptions
minute.
coming in the house.
Wait a minute. Adderall. Now I remember. Yes, they did use it for it contained Adderall because it doesn't curb your appetite, and what it does too, for what some people, it kills their sex drive.
Yeah. That's another
Yeah,
form of population control as well, right?
Damn.
not even the fact that is. Remember how I told everybody how my son's mother went off on a trip one time, beat the shit out of his ass. She was taking Adderall because it does increase anger. And that's why when y'all talk Adderall, I'm like, man, why is that drug, so, because I mean, familiar, that name. Come to find out, because there was a weight loss clinic where you could go and they would prescribe it, and basically it would curb your appetite. I remember she was just loose, and like she was just never hungry. It's like you're never hungry.
It's
And
fucking
then on top
speed.
of that, but no, like, man, she loved to fuck. I mean, literally, we stayed fucking, I mean, all the time. It just, like, killed the sex drive. I mean, we were like,
Prozac
I'm
does
sitting
that
here
too.
like, I'm used to getting it 7-8 times a week. Now I'm getting it every 2
7-8
weeks,
times a year.
right?
Hey,
I remember because I went with her, because they always would make them go down there to be prescribed. You'd have to go down there. They'd have to, like, check your weight, do all this other shit, give you these tests. And I remember it was some men, and like some people were like, oh, yeah, it does work, because she was coming back. Like, you see people in the lobby, and they're like, is it working for you? Oh, yeah, I dropped, 11 pounds, and I ain't really been doing nothing. I ain't really been working out. And I was telling her, I said, yeah, I'm going to just tell you like this, though. I remember telling her, I was sitting there with her, I was telling her, dude, you ain't going to like it. Why is that? I said, because, one, I'm going to just tell you, ever since she's been on that, I get less sex. On top of that, she's always been a very quick person to go off when she gets mad. It just made it 10 times worse. I mean, literally, any little thing could start a fucking argument, and I mean, it's to the extreme. And that's why I said, so people think that these drugs may be helping you, but even she admitted, when she stopped taking the Adderall, that's when she was back to normal. I mean, back to normal for her.
Dre, it does something psychological to him too. It gives them this crutch of blame that they can say, oh, well, it's my disablement. It's my this is the reason why I can do that. And and psychologically that starts to like enable them to just not put up their normal, regular behavior, that they would just go nuts, way easier without, with justification in their own minds.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think that because we're moving into a place in society where the taboo is coming, or the stigmas are becoming less and less surrounding mental illnesses, that people are not afraid to say, well, I take Adderall, or I'm OCD, and now people are even joking. Like, people who do not have OCD will be like, oh, it's my OCD. And they think they're cool saying that, where in the past, no one would ever say something like that.
Yep.
Exactly, man. I mean, it used to be seen as a sign of weakness. Now it's a badge of I can get away with it.
Right.
To justify whatever they do. That's what it is. Justify any action. And it to me, it's like always like a way off.
Yeah,
everybody's looking for an excuse.
I'm sorry.
Everybody's looking for an excuse for their poor behavior, so they act up and go off on somebody and be like, oh my God, I'm sorry, it was just my OCD, just were driving me crazy, or it's my anxiety, or
This is why I don't like being fucking politically correct. You do some dumb shit, I'm gonna call you out on it.
Yeah.
Right?
You can't
just right along with making us all feel like adolescence, eternal adolescence, keeping us in that state of eternal adolescence. Well,
so you're actually adolescents who were never held accountable for your actions when you do that shit.
Yeah, because even adolescents, it's sorry, man.
I just want everybody real quick, just to be fair, submissive. I don't blame my OCD. I blame my CDO, which is OCD in alphabetical order. So I just
my word. There you are. See, and you had no problem saying that out loud, did you?
Oh, yeah.
Not at
Roses are
all. Not
red,
at all.
violets
I
are
actually
blue.
felt offended by your comments. So I just
I
wanted to
bet you
let
did. And 25 years ago, you would have been hiding that shit. You would never say that in a forum of people.
That's funny shit.
Because you had some shame. People had some shame. People just they're shameless.
Right.
Well, we just saw it for what it was. It was a flaw that we didn't want. You know, like now it's a flaw that seeks attention or gets attention.
Right.
So it's something that gets a positive reinforcement. And
But think about though, MG. Think about this though. Most of us here in America, we're nothing but attention whores, anyways.
You're right. No, yeah, immediate gratification.
There would be no such thing as fucking social media.
So true.
Well, I don't know that that's why social media started, but it sure did breed a bunch of attention whores.
Yes, it did.
Well, I mean, don't I want attention when I'm out here yelling about vaccines, do this and that? I'm trying to get people to look, you know, not so much at me particularly. I'm not so pretty, but at the information.
Well, you're making noise about something you want people to take a look at. And actually, when people, like deviant behavior does draw attention, and deviant behavior in the past has sometimes caused social change. So... I mean, sometimes for the good and sometimes for the bad.
So occasionally I'll throw a fuck you right around the corner, and you know I'll get right back in it with with whoever.
Now, I'm gonna bring something up in the chat here. The chat says that Adderall is starting to get saturated in the hoods now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Because now everybody's got insurance. It's about that getting everybody on it. See, it seems like it starts off in one area, but that's just, you know, and so the rationale, well, at least it's not happening to me, will get set in, and then you relax to it. And then now it's happening, you know what I mean? That's how it goes even with, you know, like a lot of things that people are like, oh, they only put those drugs in the black community. I was like, well, that was just a good way to get that fire started because they wanted to catch the whole place on fire. But that was a really...
How come like most of your drugs start with the white communities and trickle down?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Well, basically,
white people.
You know what I'm saying?
What I've always said is this: drugs are never a problem, really, like this is to the people who can afford them. If you ever notice, there are plenty of meth heads and crank heads who are CFOs of company. They did a study. It's more Wall Street bankers probably using drugs and shit like that than it is motherfuckers working at McDonald's.
Think about the movie Wolf of Wall Street.
Right.
It's about an even number, I bet. About across the board.
Mm-hmm.
There y'all go, blaming the white people again.
No, I'm just blaming. It had nothing to do with skin color.
It's a joke.
No, it has to do with rich and poor. The rich people, when they get caught with drugs, is looked at as a minor infraction. You need treatment, this, that, and the other. And that doesn't matter if you're black or white. If you've got enough money as a black person, you still be treated as a rich person. The poor people is, oh my God, something is wrong with you guys. You need to go to jail. That's just what it is. Even if it's a non-violent crime. Say they found you like high sitting in your car in your own driveway. You could still go to jail for that.
That's how you get all these like 40-year-old men. I almost have 40-year-old white men who have been pulled over and gone to jail for having cocaine, and they still live at their mom's house, but their parents are rich, or they live at their parents' house, they're still rich, and they just do that their whole life. They just because they keep paying for it, and these people they just keep getting out of jail, and you know.
Jerry, you just totally crushed white supremacy with that last statement.
Right.
You did. Because think about this shit. Mayor Barry, you fucking smoked crack and got out.
Right. It's true.
And still became mayor.
Right. But I'm just like this is. It has nothing to do with that. Remember I told you when I was in jail?
Yeah, but the blacks voted him in.
If you got
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
People, if you got money and
know that vote ain't real.
You're all right.
I just threw that out to be an advocate, devil's advocate. Am I talking over you? I think you're blanking out. Like,
nobody's talking to you somewhere. Okay, I'm trying to figure this out. You say Gene alteration. I would like to figure that out. What do you mean by gene alteration?
Who said that?
Somebody in the chat.
Gene alteration. Oh, yeah. I'll take a guess at it. I don't see the chat, I guess.
No, the YouTube chat.
Oh, here it is. Okay. Yeah. At some point, I would imagine that point has been almost 100 years ago, and they started at least they're messing with the feminization of the males and the masculinity of the females with the bisphenol A, that chemical that they put in all the clear plastics, the can linings, everything we eat out of. If it doesn't say BPA free, then it still has BPA in it. Even sometimes BPA free has BPA in it, and it's a chemical. It's an endocrine disruptor, which means it's a hormone switcher. It switches your hormones from being one, like testosterone, to an estrogen, a synthetic estrogen, to a estrogen, from an estrogen to a testosterone. It's an endocrine disruptor, right?
Right,
So
sounds like an old fucking radio here.
I don't know. I was hearing that. I thought someone was talking, but. Hopefully it's not me, because I got a good ass microphone. I might be picking myself up. Is it better now?
It might be you. Hey, MG, do a quick favor, man. Just drop out and come right back in.
Doing that.
That should clear it up.
All right. No, definitely.
Hello.
Yeah, we're here, man.
Oh, everybody got so quiet. Oh, he dropped off.
Yeah, his mic was fucking up.
Oh, okay. You definitely can. Tar said you can find information to, fit any narrative, and that is what's so bad. What's so bad is it's true. I mean, 'cause think about what they're gonna do. They just get you get 5-6 people with a PhD, and half the time, most of the time, that when we believe these people when they tell us, oh, these studies, that no one has actually done any checking to see, well, was this study ever conducted?
When you think about it, though, most times we can just tell you anything. We just like, all right, that sounds good.
Like, sounds right.
So it must be true.
Right, sounds right. They say 1 or 2 names that you done heard of before, and next minute you know.
Think about it. Most of the names you don't even fucking know. You just go ahead and agree with that bullshit.
That's what when you sit up here and say, wow.
Yeah, you don't even know this shit.
Yep.
How we doing on microphone issue now?
You're good, man. You're good.
Sweet. Okay, sweet.
If you want to invite your friend, what's her name? What was that chick's name that was real smart about that?
Debbie, Lost Horizon 52.
Yeah.
She worked in the oil industry in the 80s and knows a lot of firsthand stuff about how the wells will refill themselves after being depleted, and how a lot of the higher ups already knew that. I mean, decades ago. So, and that's interesting to hear from a first-hander. And she's a theoretical mathematician and stuff, and we talk about two-dimensional disk model of the universe and how, I mean, I'm just saying, yeah, I'll invite her. I could have said yeah. And just
I think I just did now.
Oh,
no,
good
I think I found her. Yeah, I've been getting trolled a lot lately ever since I made the switch. We'll talk about that offline.
All right.
But Yeah.
Well, usually when you get over the that's why they call it the flak. When you get over the target, that's when you get the most anti-aircraft flak. You know, the most.
Yeah.
So you must be getting over a target.
Yeah.
Oh, look here, we got some. I got some stuff I just put in jars. I'm curing it again. Some of my Girl Scout cookies and some
As
grapes.
you see, KP, remember I told you, MG knows about other things.
I see he's a botanist here.
Right.
He's into homeopathic medication.
Definitely. I got the Rick Simpson oil up here for that cancer, killing tumors, homies. Real shit.
That's what's up.
That's for anybody who needs it. If you got a referral from your doctor, you can get that mailed to you anywhere in the United States, as far as I know. I don't know if everybody can see that, but I just threw it up.
I
in
made
the,
it main.
camera.
I made it on the main page so you can see what.
Oh, you're the man. And I probably got a dirty ass fingernail because I've been pHing soil all day.
Right. There you go.
But the one I have right now.
Well, I'm just gonna say, KP and I were talking about canning, but you know,
RSO Blue
you took
Dream
that to
2,
a whole new level.
62.75% THC.
Yes, you did.
And that is like crazy. I'm telling you. It just brings weed to a whole nother level. I don't even like that level. That's just for curing. You know, that's too heavy. I don't like getting that stoned. That's like getting drunk almost. I don't like to be drunk.
That's for the people who need something very strong, huh?
Well, that's if you've really like pancreatic cancer or something like that, you know, and you're trying to kill the tumor, and you have to have a high level of THC to do that. But it does it, you know. That's the thing. It actually does it. So, ain't no sense in fucking not trying it. If you know what I mean.
Right.
If you got that problem, before you go and, you know, I'm not a doctor, but I'm gonna tell you my personal experience. Before I go to the doctor and have them give me chemotherapy, which raises the acidic levels in my body and allows the candida to take hold of every cell available to it. That's only feeding it. When you go and get that chemotherapy, you basically feed the cancer the rest of your cells, because it doesn't just go with the brain and attack only the cancer cells. It's attacking all your healthy cells. It's chemically imbalancing your pH, creating an acidic environment which allows for the fungus and the mold spores to, you know, prosper. You don't want that. So, yeah, I would definitely go this route first, you know, before anything, especially if, you know.
Well,
I agree. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Samantha. No, go ahead.
No, I do agree that if you can find something that is not going to kill all of the healthy cells as well, I mean, obviously that would be a good idea.
This kills none of our healthy cells, you know?
And I'm just saying, when you talk about feeding cancer, I mean, sugar feeds cancer, carbs feed cancer.
Because carbs are sugar, ultimately, broken down.
Yes, exactly. And they all, I mean, there are studies that show if you cut that out, then it stops feeding the cancer, you know. I just think those are exactly the types of things that the government and big business do not want to be spread around.
That's right. They would rather give you
They don't
radiation.
want people to know that because there's no money in healthy people.
Radiation and chemotherapy, 97% failure. And that's the go-to. And you must. Or else you're a bad parent or you're a bad whatever. Come on now. How are you telling me I must or we must or who must anything, for one, right, when they did it to us in the first place? Did y'all know that when you get a vaccine, you're getting animal cells like canine kidney cells or monkey kidney cells or bovine cells or, you know, even human fetal stem cells? You're getting other animal cells in your body. All Negalese. Negalese is an enzyme that attacks the immune system, that attacks a protein. Hi, Tommy. It attacks I barely blinked over. Sorry about that. it attacks the immune system, and it's a protein in the immune system that regulates your immunities, in your protein chain that regulates your immunities, right? And Negalese goes after that. Well, Negalese comes from all
You said
living.
Nicholas.
Negalese, yeah.
Nigga bears.
Negalese. It comes. Okay, I did it again, didn't I? Damn it. So, yeah. So Negalese comes from the animal cells themselves and plant matter, right? And they even put insects and shit in vaccines. You guys gotta really look into this if you haven't already.
Yeah. And like if you see a lot of stuff where you see like some of it's animal waste, and I mean when you be like, what in the world?
Wow.
Blue crab, genes, crap, all kinds of crap, man. But the story is, the thing is Negalese is high amounts of Negalese are correlated to folks with, inflammatory disease like cancers and things like that, right? So the vaccines are giving you the Negalese, right? The vaccines are attacking your immune system. You're bypassing your normal immune system when you go straight into your bloodstream. That's a no-no. You're supposed to hit your mucous membrane so that you can swallow it, and your stomach acids can break it down, and the microbia in your gut can, break it down and kill the toxins and do all the stuff that, take care of business for you. Your body's very smart. Well, you're bypassing your body's brain. So it doesn't get to be smart. You're going straight to the bloodstream. They're putting adjuvants and stuff in there as well, like aluminum, formaldehyde. It's called formalin because it's 20% formaldehyde in water, but it's still formaldehyde, right? And what that's doing, that's why when they test the vaccine and they go, yeah, formalin. Okay. When they test the vaccine and say, oh, look, there's no Negalese in the vaccine. Well, of course not, because the animal cells have to decay first. It's through the process of decay that pleomorphism occurs. So if it can't, and it doesn't decay in formaldehyde. So they trick us. They test these things, and they say, look, this one's free of Negalese, so here, take the vaccine. It's safe. Then when you take the vaccine, the formaldehyde dissipates, of course, right? Because it's now in a new terrain in your body. And so it allows the bacterium that are there, that have been placed there from the animal cells, the Negalese. Let me explain something most people don't know yet. Anton Beauchamp, the guy who brought what our idea of a chromosome is finally today, but in other terms, he brought it to us as a microzema, the Protosmicrozema semitis, right? Well, what he's trying to say in that is that the Protosmicrozema semitis is the body's very smallest broken down part. We don't even talk about that in modern science. We can see it. I can show you from Harvard presentations. I can show you like literally today, right?
Okay, so MZ. You're talking about vaccines. Would you say the same thing of, say, I mean, are you talking all vaccines?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the vaccines we give our kids?
All vaccines.
Would you say the same thing? Okay, so you're saying the same thing about the flu shot. And
oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. All the vaccines, all the flu shots, all the chemicals that they bypass you and stick you right in your blood with. What they're doing with the flu shot, you ever notice? I haven't had the flu in almost 10 years. I don't have flu. I don't get flu shots. I don't do any.
We don't get the flu shot either. I was just curious. They really, I mean, in some of our jobs try to really push us to get it, but we don't do it.
That's right.
I was just curious if you thought of the flu shot the same, like if you were only talking about how we vaccinate our children, or
one of the worst.
All vaccines.
The flu shot's one of the worst, actually. I've got so much information, guy. If I could dig through and let somebody talk for a couple of minutes, I'll dig through and grab a couple of articles about the flu shots. I can promote a friend of mine, Kenny V. Experimental Vaccines is his YouTube channel, and I could give you a couple of links. We can share some of that back and forth. So,
okay, that sounds
if you want to
good.
give me a couple minutes, I'll throw something together, and you guys talk about any personal experiences or anything. Yeah, about the. I mean, have you ever noticed after getting a flu shot?
While you're looking for the information, stay away from any windows.
Any windows.
Don't go near any windows in your house, sir.
Yeah, you already know.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting, and obviously whether or not to vaccinate your children is a controversial subject. we vaccinated our kids, and
Glassberg.
I'm not
David
convinced.
Stevens.
Are you
What
all
is it?
looking at guys?
No,
What
he was.
was it?
Yeah, he was right though. But I was just letting him know. I know that. That's why those are under every coffee table and thing in the house.
There you go.
Got a 500?
Because I talk about bigger shit than this, you know. But this is big shit. But I mean, and I don't feel like I'm some big special whatever. It's just that I know a lot of shit, about a lot of really heavy shit. You know what I mean? And if like the right people can get to me to understand what I'm trying to say, because I have a poor demeanor about myself sometimes. About, you know, I have this stoner type demeanor, so it's kind of hard to take me serious. Do I really know what I'm talking about? I forget words. I misquote things. You know what I mean? But I see the mechanics of the methodologies that are being used to pretty much control us, you know, through proxy.
Well, I feel like, I mean, I can't think of
hold
the
together
phrase that you
complex
just
ideas.
used a moment ago, but it was pretty much that they just don't want us to know these things. And when they tell us, you know, that we need to do this or we need to have this chemo or, I mean, like I said at the end of the last show about propaganda, you know, they make you feel like you have to do certain things. And I have to say, I'm not saying personally, for me, I'm not telling people to not go get their kids vaccinated because I don't know enough about the other side of it, like you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can't really make a judgment call on that right now, but I just feel like
Oh, it's rough. Once you get
so
past
much
that level,
propaganda to make people feel like they have to do certain things.
Mhm.
And that's what we were talking about at the end of the other show too, about the oil and the diamonds, and you know, it's all this propaganda and what they make people believe. And then once you make people believe certain things, then they take action on it, or they act on it in a certain way.
yeah, they create their own
according to
prison
those
walls,
beliefs. Yeah.
their own prison bars, right? And then they create prison walls and bars for you because of what they believe. You know, it's the
Right.
the vaccinated, for some reason, really hate the non-vaccinated. Do they know why exactly? Because if their kids are vaccinated, why are they so worried that mine aren't? Right? Aren't they
I
protected?
posed the same question before.
See,
Why
they
you
don't.
so scared?
That's exactly right. You know, but it's a mentality that, you know, they've been taught to think of it as a herd immunity, and that, you know, it's like the vague idea of it brings emotion. Oh, you want to hurt my child.
Well, I know.
And then,
I
but the
understand
reality
the
is the
emotion.
opposite, right? Because the reality is the opposite. We found that the kids who are vaccinated are actually carrying a variant of this disease, and it's able to be passed on to the non-vaccinated as for the time they're carrying their what is it called when you're contagious? Because they're contagious for a certain amount of hours, particularly 70 something hours, 72 hours, like 3 days to 2 weeks in some cases, right? And then we've got proof that they never ever eradicated polio. They've just renamed it. The
Well, I feel
people
like,
who
I
are
mean,
vaccinated who
obviously
get
we know that the
polio
fear,
are called Guillain-Barré disease or Chinese paralytic disease now. Either one. And
and
it's
I'm not
No, no,
disputing.
no, 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 no. Guillain-Barré is totally different.
no, it isn't. What it is a variant of that
Okay, so you say it's a
vaccine.
mutation of it.
Right. Because
Okay.
listen, at the injection site is where the paralysis occurs.
So I just want you to know,
It's
like,
the
I'm not
vaccine.
disputing what you say. I'm just trying to think of all sides and why people do the things that they do. So we know that people are scared of having, like, if someone gets their kids vaccinated, they're scared of groups of people who do not have their kids vaccinated because
I'm gonna have
then,
to challenge that one there, man, because
Challenge.
dealing with Guillain-Barré, paralysis starts at the feet and works its way up.
You hear
That's
him today?
yeah, but we're talking about from the up into the arm that is or leg that has been given the vaccine. In most cases, I'll grab some paperwork on that. I never even started doing all that while I was talking.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing I like. You do present articles when you do make your
Yeah.
case. I see a lot of people.
Doctors changed the name. Hell yeah, doctors change the names. I'm just gonna read something from Vac Truth real quick, and then we'll go over to the when I
Post
get
the
down.
link in the Google chat for people, so that way they can look at the website themselves.
For
So we'll
sure,
go ahead
there
and
it
post the
is.
link there. Yeah.
There's that.
I mean, 'cause see, that's what I like. You know, one thing I like, you don't mind somebody fighting back against what you say,
Oh
and
no,
they
I
really
appreciate it
information because too that helps get a better opinion, and that way we get more eyes looking at it.
exactly.
And
I've
you
placed
come
the
to your own
same.
conclusion.
I've placed some of the same questions about a lot of this because I
There's a
want to
link,
know
people, there
what
if
I'm
you want to
talking
look
about.
at it, and that way you can look at the same article we're looking at now. You can open that up in another tab.
And we got quotes from and as you read along down in there, Dr. Bernice Eddy from 1954 in the beginning when they were pushing a lot of this, and how it was you know vaccinated 18 monkeys with the inactivated polio vaccine. She discovered that the vaccine was causing the monkeys to become paralyzed, and she wrote, "We had 18 monkeys. We inoculated these 18 monkeys with each vaccine that came in, and we started getting paralyzed monkeys." Right? Alarmed, she immediately informed her superiors, sending photos of the monkeys instead of the thanks that she expected, for finding the problem. And the immediate halt of the vaccine program. A surprising thing happened, they wrote. William Sabrell, the director of the NIH, stopped by the animal house where they were working, not to thank her for blowing the whistle, but to ask her if her coworkers and her wanted their children immunized with the vaccine. That's like a fucking threat to a person who knows that the vaccine is paralyzing the monkeys. Then you go and you basically threaten me by saying you wanted me to give this to your kid. I mean, how else would you even see that, being the person who knows that these things are dangerous? You know what I mean? I'm just saying. To me, I see it as a threat.
I mean, just kind of looking at this article, just glancing, seems like they're posing more questions to his audience versus giving scientific evidence.
No, that's cool because I'm looking for the links in the articles. It looks like I'm having a hard time with them now. It's been a while since I've poked through here. Here we go, down here at the bottom, research links. So that way you can see that this isn't just the article. There's actually citations of research, shit like that down here.
I think it's awesome.
I'm well versed with Gillian Beret, and I'm actually quite interested in what you're saying here.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. It's very interesting to hear, another side, other views, and things that people don't normally think about, and certainly not things that you ever will see in news or on the news.
Because then pretty much you're saying that polio is reversible?
Well, in vitro, probably. You know what I mean?
Because Gillian Beret is reversible.
Yeah, I mean, in vitro, maybe, but I'm not sure. Once you damage or crunch the nerves, with the, sometimes you can't really fix those nerves. It's like a stem of a plant, once you just killed the damn stem of the plant, that stem is particularly dead, you know what I mean? Same with, like, vascular nerves, right? In some cases.
Say that again about the vascular nerves.
I don't really know exactly what I'm talking about on that.
Okay.
I'm just kind of, I can't think of any particular names of the nerves right now, even though I've got one shooting down between my shoulder blades and to my neck right now.
You got a jar for that?
Right?
Just kidding.
Listen to you.
I do.
You got a jar for that.
There is that paper.
Maybe I should have said there is a jar for that. Like there's an app for that.
There is a jar for that.
Listen to you.
Most Gillian Beret is an autoimmune disease.
Hey, Damon, why don't you come on in the chat? I see that you have a couple things against what he's saying. That's what we like here. Actually, we like different points of view. remember we can attack opinions and points of view here on the show. That's attackable as long as we don't take it personal. And I mean that's why you can open our eyes on another opinion, another point of view.
Yeah. No matter what you say to me tomorrow, if your car broke down, still take your damn kids to school. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna ask you this, MG. Hey, MG, is polio contagious?
If you get a vaccine, it is.
So
that's
if you don't get vaccinated,
Yeah.
so if you don't get vaccinated, then you're saying it's autoimmune disease?
Put your email in the box and I'll add you, Hicks. Also, too, you can click the link in your iPad. Just make sure that when you go to YouTube, always go to it in desktop mode. Then you can click the link. If you go to YouTube on your iPad in your YouTube app, it's not gonna work. Send me your email address. Type your email address in the box, and I will add you to the call.
I'm just guessing here, but I would imagine that the fact that it's in vaccine form with other animal cells is the reason why it's being called an autoimmune disease in that variant of itself, because like I was saying, the Nagelese comes from animal cells, right? And it's getting put right into your body, other animal cells that are breaking down and decaying. That would create the autoimmune problem. Well, then you have the other variable of the bacterium in place that they've been manipulating to be a very, less virulent or whatever bacteria, right? Because then that gets thrown in the mix. They ignore that part of the issue, and they say that's an autoimmune, issue. But again, that they're combined. It's the same. It's like part of the same thing. Your body, is trying to deal with it, on the best way it can.
So I guess the issue that I would have, because seeing people with polio, you can always tell they have polio.
Yeah.
Because their body's affected.
It's a totally different look, right?
Right, but when you have Gillian Gray, you will never know.
Right, and those are mild cases because of the. Yeah, remember it's a less virulent strain. And even the same strain over years becomes less virulent. It becomes less. That's why that Zika scare bullshit is bullshit. Old ancient viruses that have been on the planet forever have become mild. We've been here too. We've been dealing with them too. This Zika shit's everywhere. We've been getting it. You ever get a rash and don't know where it came from? You probably had Zika. You don't got a shrunken head from it. That microencephaly is in their own paperwork. That microencephaly, the shrunken head syndrome stuff we've been seeing correlated to the Zika virus, it's not correlated to the Zika at all. We've seen the Tdap vaccine do that to kids. The Tdap vaccine is causing microencephaly. And all those women got them flu shots in Brazil. I'm just saying, they're giving us these Tdap vaccines and these microencephaly, and then they're telling us they need to give us mosquitoes to fight it because it doesn't come from the vaccines or anything. It comes from the air around you. That. Anyway, yeah.
Well, I mean,
it's another story
I
altogether.
can see that in a way because viruses do mutate and stuff like that. I can see that in some form. It's still hard to believe because technically that still goes against the grain.
Mother Nature wants to find an equilibrium, balance, and it's always looking to balance itself out. If the virus was running around killing everything it touched, right, then it would end up eventually wiping itself out, wouldn't it? And it wants to preserve itself, and so does everything in nature. It wants to find equilibrium and find a balance.
I mean, see if we get Damon in here. He said he had a.
But we've got paperwork on it. We showed you since 1991 they've known microencephaly, Tdap vaccine, is caused by microcephaly.
But one of the things we know, especially with the U.S. government, we've known that we've given experimental drugs to people on purpose. We've actually poisoned people, on purpose. I mean, that's
not we. They did it without our yeah. I say they when it comes to that because you didn't consent to it, right? So you didn't. It's not we. I'll say they. They acted separately without me because I'm not a part of the government.
But I mean, we know that because look at the smallpox blankets they gave to the Indians. We've known that they've tested nerve gas on soldiers. That's been known because after
Syphilis to black men and
after the
smoke,
paper were declassified,
Cutra,
they came out and said, "Well, this is known. We did all these tests on these
radiation.
people. That's been known." So, I mean, when you really think about it,
And it ain't even tests. They already knew what the shit would do to a person. They just wanted to see what wide scale would it do. And that's what their excuses were. But they're really just trying to fuck off our populations anytime they get a chance. And they had dirtier methods. Yeah, they had dirtier methods back then. They were more obvious. Now they have these methods that they pretend that, 6 million or 500,000 people are going to be left on the planet. They pretend like they're going to get you down to this little tiny number, when in reality, they're doing it every day to us right now. Every day they're murdering us by, telling us bullshit like Ebola is going to be in your balls. And so I know that's gay. I know that's stupid, but you're saying that if you get a 0.7% to believe that, then there's that many people not going to be born. Then you get a 0.1% to be gay, you know what I mean? And then that many people won't be born. You get, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like all these little things, you put them all together, you got 47% of the population not procreating.
Exactly. Population control.
You put all of them together, exactly. And then that's what now you got numbers to think about and see, if they're all, how could they all be connected? Well, how could they all not be connected when you think about it on a deep level? How could they all not be connected? Because the people at the power, if it's all really about money, right, then how do they print money out of thin air? It ain't about money for them, is it? Must be about something else, right? Because we use fiat currency. It's fake money. It ain't real money. There is nothing backing it up. They know it, so they don't do it for the money. That's what we rationalize it for, because we do the little evils that help their end goal for the money. We do.
MG, would you please explain for people that there's no such thing as backing the U.S. dollar?
Yes,
there's no such thing. Except for your slavery. Your slavery is what backs the dollar, basically.
That's true. That is true. A lot of people don't realize, plain and simple, if you don't pay attention, that's why if you notice that the dollars don't say silver certificate and all that shit anymore. Where it used to say we'll pay on demand, because it used to be backed by silver, where now it's not backed by that anymore.
Yeah, it ain't even legal to have them no more.
It's backed by your birth certificate and your social security number.
Right. I mean, literally. I mean, and anybody that doesn't pay attention to that, they realize.
Backed by the illusion.
Right. I mean, think about it. Too. That's one reason why I definitely believe that's why Hillary Clinton did that shit over with Bughazi over in Africa, because he thought about the currency, talking about making Africa have another currency backed by
She ain't
gold.
important enough to be thinking about doing nothing. She's a Muppet, just doing a role, just like they all are. Right. All Muppets doing roles.
Why do y'all think Omar?
Not to put what you're saying down, just the way I see it. They're all Muppets, puppets doing the roles that they're, Committee of 300 unrolls for them. She's not making decisions or thinking about anything like on her own. You know what I mean? None of that. It's like you go to a job at a gas station and you're going to be the manager. Well, somebody trains you exactly what you do as that manager at that job. Just like a presidency, just like anything else. Somebody's handling you, telling you exactly what you need to be doing and all that shit. They ain't doing nothing. Them fucking Muppets.
Talking about money. I was going to say, talking about money, why y'all think they killed off Muammar Gaddafi?
Right, that's what I said. Because I believe that's true. He
Rationale.
wants to unite Africa under the main thing, because you don't hear. This is my thing. Why I believe definitely that part's true, because you don't hear about it. He wanted to back Africa's currency in gold, and when it all comes down to anything, Africa has more resources.
They told him to do it.
Country.
That's the thing. They put him there, told him to do it, and then to teach us the rationale of learned helplessness, that there is no savior going to come up, and that you better not ever expect one. Right. They smashed the dude out in front of you, and that teaches you, no, see, don't expect that. And so their people don't expect another ruler to stand up and do that kind of thing forever, just like Kennedy. Same thing. It's a fake bullshit. It's a dog and pony show. Even the martyrs are fake.
Are you saying when Kennedy started talking about the Federal Reserve?
Yeah. Because
Go
he's
ahead.
telling you the truth. He's
Oh,
cracking
Lost,
open
I'm sorry,
eggshells.
Sister Banks. I'm sorry.
Lost just came in the room. Lost.
I know what you meant.
Who
Your
just came in
girl
the
just
room?
came in the room. Lost her eyes, and Deb is here.
Oh, sweet. I knew what you meant. Hi, Debbie. Oh, she's in the chat?
Yeah, if you want to come on, Deb, just let us know.
I just want to tell M that is a great selection of herbal goodness in those mason jars.
I must have missed that.
I am a stoner myself. I wish I was there with you because I would definitely pack a bowl.
I'm a stoner.
Don't even know you.
Oh man, yeah, no, I hate to say something. That's one thing I like. M is cool.
Break out my pocket microscope and check out those
MG is cool.
trichomes.
He's a real cool cat. He may be, like I said, he has a different opinion than a lot of us. But I don't see facts in everything he say. But in some of the stuff he says, when you really put and you think about other things, some of this has got to be true.
But you know what, Trey?
A lot of fucking games on us, so I'll give him.
Hey, let me ask real quick if you don't mind, because this is what I was itching to ask. Is that do you have children, and did you choose to vaccinate them?
Right. Okay.
Because I didn't catch that earlier.
I have 2 boys. Right. My first son, I didn't vaccinate, and he was healthy. I was a single dad for 2.5 years.
Go ahead, let it out, brother. Take your time.
That shit snuck up.
Nah, that's part of your message. Go ahead.
Right.
And he's very healthy and everything. Never gets sick, any of that. Right. Highly intelligent, and his mom did a little skitty scoop and kidnapped him from me with the police and did a bunch of weird shit. Anyway. Now, I don't see him very much, and she got him vaccinated, all this stuff. He had a learning disability immediately after. It was like day and night. You could see it firsthand what happened. Okay. When you don't vaccinate and then you see him get hit, you know something's completely wrong. It breaks your heart. I'm about to cry about it right now. It pisses me off so much. It's not the kind of thing you want to actually ever see, because you see a light in your child's eye, and you see you in there, and then you see that get dimmed. And hard, you know what I mean? That's not a good feeling to see, and I had to see it. And with my second son, things didn't work out. The moms don't listen. I'm too crazy, obviously, right? I'm just too
let's
crazy.
say unconventional.
Exactly. That's a much preferable,
Well, it's fair.
Yeah. So with the way that I speak about things, it's like because I'm not religious, immediately I lose points with the family and everything. And then I try to point things out. It's not that I'm not good. It's not that I don't believe in all the good things that religion is saying. It's that I don't believe in, see all that other stuff that you don't notice in the religion? I'm pointing all that out. Being like, what's up with all of that? What's up with all the correlations to the Pharaonic dynasty? What's up with all the correlations from Buddha to Christ to Horus to you know what I mean? Let's talk about where these religions really came from, and why do they tell us to give to Caesar what Caesar's, and what's the rationale builder here? What are they trying to do to me with this? Am I trying to become a good servant? Or am I learning that slavery is okay? You know what I mean? Because you can pick your slaves from this land as long as it's not from your own tribes. And what?
Right.
So
by learning that it's okay, you are becoming a slave.
Right. Exactly. And it's called to me. I'm not with that rationale. So if I say I believe in the golden rule and shit, that's not good enough, basically.
Well,
I lost points. I'm not religious. So
I'm not. We can get into that, but I caught your discussion about the vaccination, so that's why I had that question. And then my follow-up to that is, since you have been adversely affected by it, what do you think the probability, because that's what it's all based off of. And first of all, let me say that I hate that happened to you. You know what I'm saying? So. I'm as a father, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying, what I do have to acknowledge is that we see that happens on such a small number. Do you think that it is beneficial for the masses to eliminate something that it only adversely affects a small number? Not to say that it doesn't matter, bro. Please don't.
No, I understand. Okay. I understand. Absolutely not, because they don't work in the first place on any of those levels. Those numbers are rigged by the pharmaceutical companies are giving you the numbers.
Okay.
You know, FDA and stuff. Those are those are executive board members of pharmaceutical and biotech firms. They're not regular guys. They're the guys who
So-
work for the companies who make the poisons, and then they tell us it's okay. And we
Well, what
caught
about,
them. We've
what
got
about the researchers though? Because you cited a lot
Them
of
too.
researchers.
them too.
But-
It's very hard to find research that goes against the grain because look, they don't get funding for it. They
True.
won't get. They get discredited in those journals. But that's why I have things like quotes from the editor-in-chief of the Lancet and things like that, saying that half of medical literature is false for the very reasons I'm speaking about.
But
So, yeah, for sure.
what? Tell me the frequency though, because you got to know this.
Hey,
You're well versed.
Half of all medical literature. That's a
Guys, I want
quote.
to interject the point real quick.
Go for it.
You know how easy it is to get a drug approved?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, no,
Money-wise,
no,
yeah.
As far as scientific studies,
let's not
you
stray.
have to
let's
show
not stray
very
too
little
far.
fucking scientific proof.
I think
Very little, right.
let's not stray that far because we might be talking about something that some off-brand Viagra. I'm talking about shit that's supposed to be designed to permanently eliminate diseases.
I'm telling you, you have to show very little scientific proof.
That's
No,
you don't need.
no, but I'm asking in my man's research because he's got
Okay.
to know this.
I'll let you guys debate it out.
No, it's not a
Thank you.
debate. I want to have factual
No, we're trying to
information.
talk,
So
yeah.
I want him to tell me what's the real, you know? What I'm asking is, at what rate are kids being affected like that?
100% of the vaccinated children are losing IQ.
Well, no. You know, we can say
Yeah,
IQ.
because
You can lose IQ by
what I
getting
mean
your
by
ass
that is
whooped.
having brain damage. You're having damage to the brain, and areas of the brain are being vasculated.
But
vacuous.
the same thing
You know?
happens using corporal punishment. The same
No.
thing happens.
Yeah, but we don't have to do no, not at all. That's a
As far as
completely corporal
diminishing
punishment
IQ?
doesn't. Oh no,
Diminishing IQ.
yeah. As far as I don't know about that either. To be honest with you.
There's plenty of research to show it. It's one of few things that can diminish your IQ.
Here's a question though.
I know it's not an IQ builder, but I don't know if it's a diminisher. See,
I'm telling
like
you, all
over
the
time,
research
instead of
says-
growing, it would be less, but not from one level to a lower level. You see what I mean?
No, this is the other thing, and I'm
It's a
not.
guess.
This is another thing that people don't understand is that your IQ is really the same from the time you're 5 until the day you die. You know what
Connected
I'm
to
saying?
your self-esteem and everything. I can
Right.
imagine.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
The
I
only
see
thing
where you're
you
going
do
with
is
that.
you can demonstrate different levels of intelligence, but your IQ is consistent. But there are a
Right.
few things that can lower it. And one of them is abusive behavior inflicted on you that inflicts trauma that delays your development.
I can understand that. Yeah.
Okay, so there's proof. That's scientifically proven. What I'm asking is,
That's what I was
like-
correlating. I was actually going along with that thought of it instead of like one day you did a test, tomorrow you did another test and it was lower. You know what I mean? Like that kind
right.
of faster
No,
thing.
this
but
is like when your kid's in an abusive home from the time they're born
what he
to
could
the
have
time they
been
move on. Exactly.
right is less.
Exactly.
Is more. He could have been more without that. Is what you.
He had more potential. Okay.
Exactly.
But see, what you're saying is, if I'm understanding you correctly, so feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but you're saying that once these vaccinations are given to children, 100% of them immediately experience a diminishment in IQ.
Just like you're saying, they could have been more. Even if they were great afterwards, they could have even been more.
Fair.
That's
fair.
what I'm saying.
But let's not look at IQ. Let's actually look at physical health because that's what the
And that-
vaccination is designed to address.
And that, especially that.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the non-vaccinated children, you don't see doctor visits every week. You know, every once a fucking twice a year shit. You don't even see
Right.
that because they didn't get sick and they don't have those symptoms and they don't eat that food. Normally, the non-vaccinated parents will also feed them non-GMO food.
Yeah,
they won't let them
another
drink
thing.
fluorinated water.
Yeah.
There's a whole
I believe
mixture
that
of
it's
lifestyle.
I think it's more attributed to our diet and lifestyle than it is to a vaccination that we receive between the years of 1 and 4.
And both. It's
No, but
exactly.
I'm
yeah,
saying one inflicts us worse, in my opinion. If you listen, any child born after 1990 has never has never eaten a non-processed food. You know what I'm saying?
He's probably never had a fresh anything.
That's what I'm saying. So what I'm telling you is that there are other things that could be inflicting our physical health that's causing us to have to go. And what could it be easiest? What we do the most, that is consume foods for energy. That's
breathe.
What
we breathe the most.
I'm
not arguing with you.
But we don't go to incubation times on these
because you're dead on right. You're dead right. But they also, because we breathe like 1.5 pounds of hydrogen a day, right?
But see,
solid.
What I would say, and I would sound like an asshole, is I would say that my kids were one of the or two of the lucky kids that weren't negatively affected by these vaccinations. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way I could present it.
You don't know the grade because you didn't get the 2 lives to choose from, to gauge from.
But
if you were given 2 lives, one with the vaccines and one without, you know what I mean? You'd be able to see. But
you're right. And in my I do have a friend, right, that's anti-vaccine. That the reason why she is because she is from Guatemala, where the polio vaccine came very late. You know what I'm saying? So she has been personally affected by it, as you have, right? So I think that I'm going to ride with science, and then here's why.
But
and I don't want to just be I don't want to sound like
I'm riding with science too, though. See,
yeah,
that's the thing. It's just that the science given to me, by the person who makes the vaccine, isn't the science I'm going to trust.
Right, exactly. Yeah. No, I'm saying the science in terms of when we start to see less and less of the disease to a point to where we no longer see it anymore. That's what I'm riding with.
Yeah, that was all but gone before vaccines even came out. If you read the full articles on those, I've got a lot more shit, man. The
polio
vaccine was all but eradicated before they even started the vaccines. It came up. There was more cases of paralytic diseases tenfold right along with the vaccine schedule.
And
so they went up with the vaccines, not down.
I see your argument.
Then it was called
if you think about smallpox.
Wait a minute, let KP say something. But
I see your argument there, MG, because if you think about smallpox was fucking rampant in the 1600s. Before the vaccine came out, you didn't see a lot of cases of smallpox.
Mm-hmm. Now where is it? Back to 100 a year and shit.
Because your body adapts to your fucking environment.
Well, yeah, I think that's another thing. I mean, we do tool with our own evolution. You know what I'm saying? And make ourselves resistant to things that we shouldn't be naturally. We really should still be dying at 40. But again, we're not. We're living 80 to 100, and that's because of science. And now here's the deal. There is a financial manipulation.
We got old people that were before all the science and shit.
No, I agree.
They were like 150 years old. We got old Chinese men and shit.
My big mama lived to be 104. She drank every day and dipped snuff. You know what I'm saying?
See what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm not.
But you know what? She probably ate cabbage and things that were good for her. High alkaline diet with a lot of
fresh out the ground. She raised the meat that she ate. Yeah.
That's why she could do that.
But here's the thing, so right now we look at things like stem cell research, right? And we're saying, do we need to trust the vaccines? No, in reality, in my opinion, I think they should have fucking lungs and organs in a goddamn in a motherfucking code like lunch meat, like they got lunch meat.
They're working on that, hey, Damien. They're working on that right now.
Right. So here's the deal. We can say fuck the vaccine. Now they're gonna ask you, can you afford a lung? It's always gonna be a financial stipulation to it. We understand that society that we live in, but the thing is,
but when you start making a human the commodity, though, that's where we get sick. That's why doctoring was supposed to be a particular.
That's why I asked about the researchers. I believe researchers are pure, bro. I because I live with a researcher and I work with researchers, but I'm just a hood nigga, right? But I trust educated people, so it ain't me, but I believe in research, right? And I believe that they're pure in their intent. Well, I think it is when people see that they got money, when people see a chance to make money off of it, obviously it's going to be manipulated. But I think in all reality, when people set out to make these vaccines, they wanted to cure people. That's all they wanted to do as researchers and as medical professionals.
Oh man, that's
I don't agree with all of that because this is the
yeah.
problem. I say the original
These
people
were weapons and shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
true. They have become that in the
they
capitalistic society we live in.
No,
Correct.
but this
no.
is
It,
originally people wanted to cure people, but this is the problem: is man has gotten taken over by greed, and I hate to say it, we
Yes.
can't trust man. Man is I
Yeah.
hate to say it about it.
Nah,
Think about
hey, I tell you, in me personally, same deal. I should get paid for what I do for a living.
but think about it though, Danny.
here's 2 decades of graphs right now on the vaccines and how they actually are the cause of the problems. You can see the vaccine schedule and the disease rates, and the graphs are side by side charts. This is good shit right here.
Are
Look
you
for
putting
that.
it in the YouTube or in the Google
Just
Hangout?
between us right here.
All right, I'm trying to look at. Oh, okay. I'm
I got a
looking.
tool. I got a
Yeah.
tool. I
Both.
could put it in there. Okay, thank you.
You're
I'll
the
drop it.
mod.
Yeah,
Do it.
it's just I'm looking at the chat.
I got a tool on my head. I could do that.
Man,
Yeah.
MG.
Nah, man, but
Oh, wait a minute. I like that you guys are both on a different side of the fence, and at least see how we can debate like men and still get out, and then let people just get some.
I don't even think we're
information.
debating. I'm you
I
know
don't
hearing
think so either.
I'm hearing parts of questions that I've asked
This
myself.
ain't even.
You know what I
This ain't
mean?
even.
Like,
It's pretty good
yeah,
narrative
I don't
stuff.
hear an argument going on at all, really.
I hear.
Nah,
I was
I mean,
gonna say. No.
Debate.
But I know what you mean.
It's great
It
conversation.
seems like he's asking.
Illuminating
He
conversation.
knows what he's saying.
Yes, no, but see, that's what I like because see, that way you get both sides of the fence. So
yeah.
that way you can navigate your way through it.
Well,
True,
see,
yeah.
here's what I saw when I was on the outside and I was trying to jump in the car. Is that
Dimension.
I knew that I wanted to know if he had kids because the deal is I did like what I thought I was supposed to do and I vaccinated my kid and it worked out okay. Now had it not, I may feel very different and I do feel sorry for people that are negatively affected by this when they should be able to choose, but it's
What
too
you
many
don't see
people.
on the surface
Mhm.
can develop with bad pH and stuff. So it's trying to keep the kids
But
healthy
it goes
with the
back
right
to
foods
diet,
and shit
right?
like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's where
A
your
lot of
protection.
guys is diet, but if you break down like MG is saying, if you break down vaccines, a lot of shit you is given a live virus. So I'm injecting you with a foreign live virus, and this job is to sustain itself. It doesn't care about what it has to do because it has to evolve as well.
Its job is to create a mitosis, which
I
is
thought
a
it was,
cancer situation.
but it's
It wants
designed to
live
combat it
against.
if it's exposed, correct?
Say that
Yeah,
again.
but it's very hard to find it when you bypass all your normal immunities.
Right.
That's why shooting it into the bloodstream is a bad
You got three
idea
different
altogether.
vaccines, though. You have a dead virus, a partially dead virus, and a live virus that you inject yourself with.
Yeah.
So you have to figure out what you are getting for a vaccine. Because some vaccines, you're getting the whole total doses of vaccine with some potent antibodies attached to it.
Hey, but if you tell me it's like hitting the lottery, you know, if you say, look,
It ain't like hitting a
shit,
lottery, though.
I know that, and
Look at these numbers, man.
I know,
really.
I feel you, and that's why I got on the ask because I want factual information. But what I'm telling you, as the average parent, we look at it like it's hitting the lottery that something bad will happen to our kid.
That's what I thought too.
Right.
And I didn't even really, I wasn't even that strong about it. I just felt like it. You know how when you get a vibe off a person and they don't feel right, so you just don't want to deal with them.
Right.
That's why I didn't get vaccines for my son that day. When he was born, he just got circumcised. Man, I didn't want him to have to deal with a bunch of needles too. On top of that,
Right.
you know. So I was just like, you know, and they were like, "Oh no, I think we got to do this," and it was some sort of a weird. I could read the lie in the bitch's face, and I was like, you know, you fucking don't. When I say no, bitch, I mean no. I was fucking mad. You know, and they were like, and it was almost a paranoid. Sir, I don't think we can let you leave. Yelling at my back and shit as we're walking out. You know, and I felt like that's wrong, because I've never even heard nobody to no forceful ass try to vaccinate. No, you know what I mean? I'll beat somebody's ass right now. So that's the type of I was younger, had 24, man, really full of steam. I'll slap the nurse right across the fucking mouth. Don't touch my son with the fucking, male nurse, whatever nurse, female nurse, it don't matter. Don't no vaccine
cool.
needles.
You can elbow a female nurse and you can punch a male one.
Exactly. But I'm saying I looked like I might, do what I was saying I was, thinking I was gonna do anyway. So I was like, bark, no, woof, and we left. And so ever since then, people were like, oh, you didn't vaccinate? Good idea. My child's never been sick, and I've been vaccinated. I would just end up bumping into people who had all these amazing, stories about how, it's much better not to vaccinate. So I started looking into this type of shit, and next thing you know, I'm seeing how the vaccinations are actually the cause of all of these diseases and shit, and they're actually what's hurting kids. And right on the vaccine insert, it says may cause autism, death, SIDS.
What about
all these goddamn brain tumors? All these goddamn cancers may cause all this type of shit. It says right there on the inserts. It says it on the
note about a day.
Or you could get measles and have a rash for fucking 3 to 5 days.
You said
I'll deal with the rash for 3 to 5 days, homie.
You said elbow a female nurse and punch a male nurse?
No, let's bypass that. I forgot we were live.
I'll pinch an Achilles hand.
I'm just gonna say for the people who don't know,
I'll pinch a female right next to Achilles.
They're trying to make a bill that would become a felony if you hit a medical provider.
If they're assaulting your child.
That's a side note. They're going to make that a felony. They're pressing for it.
Nah, I mean, hey, I'd have made it 30 years without any charges. But here's the thing.
Yeah,
for me,
we'll deal without that.
If we look at the original case,
wouldn't be the first attempt.
If we look at the original case that opposed vaccinations, the claim was that it caused autism, and I noticed you mentioned that in your list of side effects. Although it was also proven that case was wrong. Like the data was flawed. So
it still says it on their inserts right now. We can check it out.
Yeah, please. If it does say that, I'd be shocked. But I'm not gonna say I don't believe you. But I would be shocked. You know what I'm saying? That would surprise me that they would, because that just creates liability. I just can't imagine they would assume that liability.
Well, they don't have to worry about it now that they've already got exemption from all their liabilities. Thank you.
It's a disclaimer, not a liability.
Yeah, they've got an exemption now from.
So if I tell you what's going to happen, I'm not liable.
There you go.
I can see that, but I understand that from a legal standpoint. But I've been under the impression for quite some time that study was deemed inaccurate.
But also, Dave, you got to think of this.
Because they were calling it autism when it's vaccine-induced brain damage and organ damage, and it's autism symptoms. Basically, that was what the constituents on the lawsuit were. Constituents.
Most of your people that you market to are just flat out stupid. So they will believe anything you tell them. Most people will follow your government like sheep. Just blind.
Yeah, well, that's why they call them.
I mean, I think most people do. Tell me, to expand, elaborate. Tell me what that means as far as this topic.
So if I tell you that something's going to be detrimental,
just follow whatever everyone else is doing without actually looking.
Okay, I put a warning label on a cigarette pack. Sure. This shit causes cancer. What happens?
So are we willing to eliminate personal responsibility?
No, that's what I'm saying. You got to have that too. And see, I'm not saying that at all. That's the thing. The thing is they're making it mandatory to take these vaccines and then creating a rationale that if you don't, then you're the problem. When in fact, if it's all your choice and all of that goes two ways, right?
I don't believe they're saying you're the problem. I think that you are putting other people at risk.
Oh no, you get fired from your job if you're not putting. If you're vaccinated, protected from a vaccine,
right?
From a fucking germ. How is my having the germ bothering you?
Well, I mean, I understand the argument.
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I'm just joking. I'm playing.
I know. I'm very clear in my speech, but I understand.
Yeah, because I love
that. That's a difficult argument to make. So I do understand your point. But you're looking at, like, my kid goes to a school that has 2,300 kids. And if we have all these random diseases running rampant through that school, I'm concerned.
Who says you got all those diseases running rapid? That's the thing, you don't.
Well, I'm concerned about mono, the simple shit too. Let's just keep it real. I'm concerned about
that's the vaccination disease.
HPV, where a young lady might end up with cervical cancer.
Yeah, but how is that? How does my son need a fucking cervical cancer protection?
Here, let me tell you. First of all, no, real clear. I'm gonna tell you because first of all,
he ain't got a cervix.
No, I'm gonna tell you. Here's the deal with HPV. Okay, first of all, men are carriers and women can get it.
That's the rationale, so they can sell you another 50% of the population that vaccine. You know what I mean?
Nah, bro.
I promise.
That's just how that disease works. I mean, I'm just saying. It's men are carriers just like other diseases.
No, non-vaccinated don't get that fucking HPV shit. Just so you know.
No, they don't.
No,
you're right. They don't get HPV, but they do develop cervical cancer.
No, they don't. Not as often as vaccinated children. That's the thing.
You can't say that because there's no research to prove that because this is all fairly new. So
no, it's not that new. The idea of HPV cervical cancer to boys is, sort of new, but I mean we were combating it. We were combating this for 10 years before it ever came out.
No, I'm saying that's the part we've known. That's the part we've known since we've recognized the disease that men are carriers. We've known that all along. What we haven't known is how to prevent these girls from getting cervical cancer if they
men are
haven't
carriers
had
of bacteria on their penis, right?
Look, that's
what they're carriers of. Dead skin cells and bacteria.
Over-sexualizing our kids.
No, we're not, bro. We are in denial in the fact that they want to fuck.
No, we're not. You gotta realize that the healthier children are just less chemicals, less vaccines.
Everybody wants to fuck. We can't deny that, man. We wanted to.
We ain't gotta teach them. It's not
over-sexualizing.
It is.
It's
over-sexualizing.
Educating.
Think about this as a boy.
Educating them on being sexually responsible.
Think about this. When we were young boys.
No, there's a balance. I understand your point. There's a balance.
I'm gonna mute.
Wait a minute.
We're talking about younger, I think.
Guys, one at a time. Go ahead, KP.
Think about this as boys in our community. You were considered a punk or a fag if you didn't go out and sleep with 10 or 20 fucking women. So you over-sexualizing men. Think about it. If you decrease that and not put that burden or that yoke around the young man.
Out and sleeping with 10 and 20-something women, man, you were doing good, man. I mean,
they were lying.
Yeah,
they weren't doing it.
That's
but the pressure was.
Some kids.
And nobody was. There was maybe one, but yes, the pressure was there, but they weren't doing it. Here's what I'm saying.
Think about what we were doing as teenagers. We was banging chicks out as teenagers.
Hey man, I'm telling you, I got today, right now in this house, I got a 23-year-old boy and a 16-year-old boy. So I'm only gonna speak from personal perspective, me or my boys. Okay. Here's the deal. When my boys were 10, right, I gave them these books about sex and how shit works. I had a discussion with them because I knew that they were going to start looking at little girls different pretty soon. This is not over-sexualizing them. This is
I'm talking about.
No.
I agree with you on that.
There's a progression here, guys. There's a progression. I'm a storyteller for our listeners. So here we go, right? So that's where it started. So through the years, I had talks with them, had discussions, crack little jokes, you know what I'm saying? Point out a nice lady's ass when we're out in public and, kind of bring them into the circle, you know what I'm saying? I'm not over-sexualizing them. I'm just making them, I'm normalizing what is already a part of them, okay? So now, right? So my oldest, 17, my boy comes to me, my homeboy comes to me and said, bro, I saw your son up at Walgreens buying condoms. What did I trip? I said, no, good. He was listening to us because I knew he was going to want to fuck. That's why he was born when his mama was 17. You know what I'm saying? That's why I made his brother. You know what I'm saying? That's why y'all got y'all kids.
And
That's
what
not
you
what I'm
did,
talking about. I'm
It's
no,
talking
creative.
about
that's
actually
not what I'm
responsible
describing.
fathering.
But I
Yeah.
believe that it's responsible for us to protect the young ladies from a dormant disease in that young man,
Damon, that's not
where we
what I'm
know
talking
that
I'm
about.
saying I
where we
understand
know
your
that young
heart is in the
man.
right place, but that ain't really where this dormant disease is. It ain't real. That shit ain't really happening.
I can't ride with that, man. But I hear
Yeah,
what you.
that's herpes, man. You got
What I'm
herpes,
saying,
a
okay,
virus, herpes virus. They're injecting into our children and saying it's because of this reason. I don't think
Damon,
so. I don't want
what
it.
I'm saying is you
I'm
did
not
it
injecting my
right.
child with a live herpes virus.
Nah, but we call
You
it
got
over
your boys right.
sexualizing it. When we try to
When I'm
minimize
talking
their
about over
risk.
sexualizing,
Just the idea of thinking that they
there's
need
many
that
of us
vaccine
as
is over
men.
sexualizing.
There's many of us as men who are told that you have to have X amount of women that you have to sleep with.
No, quit saying that, KP. We ain't talking about that, man. I don't mean to cut you off, but
That's
man, we know
No,
that.
that's
We
true,
know
kid.
that.
That's
Okay,
true,
let me
man. He
just
got a
agree
point in
with
it.
you. Let me just agree with
Hold
you.
on a second.
Okay.
Andre, go ahead and turn it
No,
off.
I'm just saying he do got a point because I hate to say we look at how successful a dude is by what type of women he gets.
And yeah, I mean, you
Yeah,
got
and
four and
most of them
5-year-olds.
lie.
You got
Over-sexualizing.
4 and
And most
5-year-olds
of them
singing at
lie.
Walmart, singing songs like, "Let me hit if you get me a fit." What's that song?
Hey,
You know,
listen. Hey,
that's
I'm
over
not saying
sexualizing.
I'm
That's
not
the
saying that
Jew
we don't.
media.
No, I'm not saying as a society we don't over sexualize things. I'm saying that wanting to protect a young lady from cervical cancer in her 30s when she's 12 does have nothing to do with sexuality. It has nothing to do with it.
She ends up getting that in her 30s because of the vaccine. No, that's the thing.
No, brother. She gets it in her teens.
These kids
And
aren't getting that shit, man, without the vaccine.
Yes.
Kids without vaccines are not getting these cervical fucking problems like this. They're selling that idea to you, like, if you don't get the vaccine, all these kids are gonna get these cervical issues. This not happening.
No, I'm
That's the
telling you that.
vaccines that are giving
I'm
these
telling
kids
you that
cervical
we're
issues.
seeing it. I'm
One
saying
vaccine
that
to fix another.
like, why are women getting cancer?
The Tdap vaccines.
Why are they getting cervical cancer in their 30s and they've never bore children?
It's not even remember SB40 gave 200 million fucking Americans or 100 million Americans cancer, and that's why we're dying today. Most of us that are having cancer are SB40 vaccine. You know what I mean? It's because of a vaccine.
I'm not familiar.
It's admitted. It's not even a fucking secret, and then people argue out of nowhere.
Okay.
Like, no, it's not.
Okay,
It fucking
Damon.
is. It's
I'm
self-admitted.
gonna explain what I'm trying to say about over-sexualizing.
All right.
Can we agree on this? If you decrease your partners,
Sorry.
you decrease the chance of getting something.
Yeah.
No, is that's a question?
I'm asking you that. Can we agree on
Okay.
that?
Okay, you're saying that if you decrease your number of sexual partners, you decrease your chance of getting a disease.
Yes.
Well, I mean, come on, man. I mean, how can I not agree with that? But I don't think.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Responsibility on the parent. Is that what you're saying?
What we end up doing out here in the communities,
Him.
especially in black communities, we have to say, well, that's how you become a man. You have to sleep with all these women. That's how we define our manhood.
Nah, I've defined my manhood by being in a committed relationship. That's what I show my boys. But if they want to go out,
you're doing what's right.
But if they choose to go have sex with 50 women, if they choose that and they choose to do so responsibly, that's them. That's their life.
But between you and me, even with a condom, sleeping with 50 women is not responsible. It's going to cause a lot of problems.
But according to KP, it improves your odds. So we're just trying to improve the odds.
Improve your odds of catching something.
Well, I'm just saying, man. I don't want.
If you decrease your partners, you can decrease your levels of STD amongst sex.
Let me just say this.
Agreed.
When we talk about over sexualizing children, I don't believe that it has anything to do with like sexual education as it should be. And the way I believe it should be is we describe it to our children the way it came to us in a truthful and forthcoming manner.
Isn't that sexual education?
Say it again?
Isn't that sexual education?
No, but I'm talking about it from a parental standpoint. You don't define it as any particular thing. It's just part of parenting. What I'm saying is that sometimes what we try to do is we try to say that, yes, I only had sex with your mother.
I waited until we were married, and we had a long courtship, and that's bullshit. You fucked their mom on the first date. Not me personally, but I'm just saying, respect for my wife. She made me wait a very respectful amount of time. But the thing is that it all has to be done in the confines of a healthy relationship. So because we shy away from sex, and then they go learn it on porn sites,
I'm not what I'm saying is what you taught your boys and how you taught your boys made them respect their bodies.
Right.
You did it right versus other parents saying the opposite. Hey, go out here and fuck all these chicks.
Right, but I don't think it's fair. Now here's the deal. Out of respect for my man M, I'm gonna respect his point of view. Okay. So from my point of view, right, which Andre described as being opposite. So this is where it's opposite. For me, I believe that these diseases are real. And I can't say I've done extensive research because I haven't. I'm just saying, in what information I have come across, I believe these diseases are real. And I believe that we cannot bring in sexuality into play if girls are at risk of a disease that is sexually transmitted, and we are in denial with the fact that they are going to have sex. All I'm saying is that really it don't have nothing to do with when they have sex or encouraging them to have sex. It's just that when they do have sex, if this is in fact a real disease, which I don't know that it is, they should be able to be protected from it, because it doesn't show any symptoms until they're in their 30s if they haven't had kids, and then they start showing these abnormalities that shouldn't exist without the vaccination, to my knowledge.
And I can agree with you.
I don't think it really has to do with sexuality.
Yes, it does. Think about it. We already agreed on that point. If you decrease,
you made me falsely agree to a cornered question, just to be honest, and I'm cool with that.
The cornered question is a direct question.
You can still get herpes on your nuts, right?
Listen, man, I think that everybody's approach to how they were taught sexuality and how they choose to teach their children is different. And I appreciate you commending me for the approach that I've taken. But the deal is, my pops didn't say the same. Thank you. My pops didn't take the same approach. He did want me to accumulate trophies. So the deal is, I did like everybody else. I lied about my trophies, and I kept a girlfriend all the time because I'm a for show type of guy. I want to make sure I got some for show. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want.
And if you listened to your dad and took his approach, you don't know what the fuck you could have caught.
I
want to say something too. Wait a minute, Damon. On that note, I want to thank you guys for coming out to the show. Thank you for watching Debating Woes with your host, Judge Dre. Please click that like, share, subscribe, and definitely donate button, because that keeps the topics going. As you see tonight, we have a very good topic going, and we want to keep these shows going. Back at you. Go for it, Damon. Continue what you're saying.
Pretty much what I'm trying to say to you, Damien. If you would have followed your father's principle,
my bad.
You could have had a whole kind of shit.
I tried to unmute. My bad.
All right. You decided to do what was smart and to limit your sexual partners. That's what you did.
You talking about me?
Yes.
Personally? Yeah, because I was not sold on the facade that I could have sex with a lot of women. I'm not an ugly dude.
Okay.
But I knew everybody was lying.
Stop right there. Yeah. Your father was over-sexualizing you, putting all this into your head that you have to go out and do that. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem. A lot of us, as impressionable young men, when you're in that state of being a teenager, you fall for that. Like, well, my dad said it, or my brother said it, or my uncle said it. This is what I have to do.
You're right.
These STDs and shit building these numbers.
But here's what I will also say. My parents are married still to this day. Like I say, every time I talk to y'all, they probably in Prairie View right now arguing with each other if they still awake. So what he told me and the example that he set for me were very different, just to be clear. And the deal is that his daddy had made babies from the first day he could. Are we live? The first day he could. I don't want to be too vulgar, until the day that he died. You feel me?
Right. So, and my parents are still together. I don't know, they've been together almost 50 years.
So he was talking about running out and getting everything you can, but he was coming home to my mama every night. You feel me? So, and so that's really the lead that I followed. I wasn't no fool. But what I'm saying is that I'm just saying on the basic primitive premise of sexuality is that once we hit pubescent age, we are ready to procreate physically, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, right, what ends up happening is we then say, well, you are not mentally ready, which is true. You are not financially ready, which is true. You know what I'm saying? But in our brain and in our physiology, we can make a fucking baby, and we need to prepare our kids for when we ain't got our eye on them, so they don't make a fucking baby,
Okay.
or transmit diseases to one another.
That's what I'm
But
saying. You
but
could
don't tell them that that the fact that they want to fuck is wrong, because
No,
that's
I
yeah.
never told anybody. I would never tell my children.
But you
It's like
understand my point. I don't want to
I
be
tell
too
everybody on the
vulgar.
panel. When our oldest daughter, she was 16, she got on birth control.
Wow.
Right.
I'm not telling you to go fuck, but I understand. I was 16 before.
Right. Or the thing is that some people would also look, I don't have daughters, but you also might look at that as a family planning technique. So she knows how to take control of her shit. So she ain't relying on some sorry ass dude. You know what I mean?
And now she's 22 and married.
There you go. There
Don't
you
worry.
go.
Don't
And
worry.
only being with
College
only
will teach her
being
to
with
be a
her husband.
lesbian, and she won't be procreating anyway.
Well, it
Being
could
with her
go
husband.
it could go any which
I'm
way. It
just
doesn't
playing,
matter.
yo.
It does but though, it don't matter what you want to fuck. Right? You want everybody wants to fuck. That's what I mean. I wouldn't have dared presented it to my kids when they were young as I'm presenting it to you, but I would say it to them right now at 16 and 23 because they done already tasted the nectar. They know. They know now. They like crack fiends like us. We can't get enough of it. We can't get away from it. We try to live without it. We can't. Once you get a taste, and bro, once before you get it, all you dying to do is get a taste to the point of where you lie to your friends saying you got a lot of tastes.
I ain't gonna. I told my son that's the worst drug in the world. And I said, you think I like Pepsi a lot? Shit, I like that even more.
But think about it. If we could keep our boys out of fucking step mode,
I like
man,
being
it'd
a
be even
hero.
better.
But see, but this goes into, if I may say, this goes into another topic though, because we always have that double standard because boys can't get pregnant. So while we sit up here and go, yeah, son, boy, I used to lay 'em down and all this stuff, but then
Oh,
you turn
don't worry.
around.
They got moms showing their kids, letting their kids twerk in fucking Walmart at the age of 2 and 3 and 4.
Nah, all bullshit
Already
aside.
going
Baby
down.
working with the diaper on. I was like,
No,
oh.
I want.
I was like, cut that shit out and push the little kid across their head.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you like this. For me, the hardest thing in
Her
talking
mom was
about
like, don't hit my kid. I was like, I didn't hit her. I was just helping her get up her balance. It looked like she kind of went off balance there.
like for me, bro, it's like when I talk to my sons, the biggest dilemma that I face is that when I talk about sex, they know who I'm thinking about and who my experience is with, right? That would be difficult for anybody. But here's the deal. I differentiate between that and the times that I just monkey fucked when I was young. You know what I'm saying? So the deal is we just got to be honest. You know, we got to be honest in the spectrum that we're dealing with here. Sometimes we monkey fuck just because, you know, we want to get off. And sometimes we make love because it's a part of our relationship and the commitment we have with the person we've chosen. So we got to give them all aspects, but we cannot
Sometimes the
say
first
you
one
don't
is
want to
because
fuck.
of the second one. So it's like,
no question.
And I love you.
No question. And no question. But
you pick the bugs off of the back of her head too?
For me,
that would be a true monkey fuck.
When I really monkey fuck, I start getting, I can.
Oh man, when I be in another world. I'm talking about when I ain't even paying attention. It's just to get off. You know what I'm saying? So I'm swinging
Mouth
in
on the
and
back of the
swinging
neck.
out. But it's different when you care for somebody. You know, and I want to make sure my son's girlfriend here. So I asked him, right? They're dating a girl over the summer. I asked him because it's the end of August. Are you trying to be with her, like your girlfriend, or are y'all just kicking it for the summer? He said he's trying to be with her. So my opinion is now he's in a relationship, right? So he's done monkey fucking. Now he's in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta tell them that this is what the commitment is. Or if you just gonna fuck, just go fuck responsibly, but let everybody know that who you fucking, that you're just trying to fuck. That's where young niggas fuck up. Even when we were in those days.
Mm-hmm.
We think we gotta tell them we love them. Those days are over, bro. These girls don't fall for that shit no more. You know what I'm saying?
Iyanla said, "Call a thing a thing."
I'm gonna disagree with that, Damon.
Shit.
Plus, as soon as you stop lying, you find more acceptance in what you're doing anyway.
I'm gonna disagree with that.
Speak on it, brother.
I'm gonna tell you why I have to disagree with that.
Come on.
Most of these girls ain't got no damn daddy. You can tell them anything they want, and they will feel love.
You know, I hear what you're saying, bro, but I act like those people don't even exist because I would not be attracted to them. So I hear what you're saying. Like I'm
looking for a stronger woman. You know?
I monkey fuck them and move on. You know, KP, my wife is a doctor, bro. I barely got my bachelor's degree. When I met her, she was a high school graduate. Dude, I'm not trying to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's poor mate selection.
There you go.
But that's what's out here mating.
Hey, bro, that ain't got shit to do with me. As long as when I got a grandbaby and I'm in that situation, I'll worry about it. Vasectomy at 28, no more babies. You know, just trying to be responsible, bro, for me, and then demonstrate what responsibility looks like for others.
And I commend you on raising your boys, man, and raising the family. But damn, it's like shit for every
you love to say don't give nobody credit for what they supposed to do. You love to say that. Don't say that shit to me, man. Don't say that shit to me, man.
You got me. Damn. All right.
I don't want no credit, man. I'm just trying to do right because I don't want these niggas out here making babies.
I like do man shit.
I appreciate that. I'll take that. I'll take that all day and twice on Sunday.
But shit, man, us as guys, we getting outnumbered by these dumb fuckers out here, though.
But dog, we just gotta keep setting a good example, man. I try to work with 10 kids a week. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here we are sharpening steel, and what's today? You know, but what's on today? Most people are doing something that's a little more mainstream. You know,
I'm about to get on my PlayStation. I'm just telling you.
I'm about to get in my bed.
Pick out time. I'm sure on the PlayStation you'd be sharpening steel too. You know, trying to talk about intelligent shit while you're playing. Because I used to.
Oh no, I zone out, bro. I don't talk to people. I probably keep talking to y'all. But no, I feel you. I try to play with my son if I can. But
I was just gonna say though, I like this what we was talking about because this is what people need to do. Because it ain't about who's right and who's wrong in these debates and all this stuff that we hear in every discussion group we're a part of, from You Dig to Mad Black. This is just getting people to critically think and come up with outstanding answers instead of just being sheeple. Because I don't think anybody's sheeple on this panel. I think that's an awesome thing.
Right.
And for the chat room to know, this is my first time meeting MG, and I like this guy, man. He's a cool dude.
Yeah.
And everybody else on the panel, shit, how many fucking hours have we just spent together talking to each other? Like
I done missed a lot of sleep, bro.
And not even the fact of that, I'm glad MJ's back. I've been looking for him online. Glad, like I said, it's literally, do I know? The stuff started, I was fighting for this man right here.
I started college on Monday, so I'm up doing homework as I'm talking to y'all.
Good. Congratulations, bro.
Yep.
Taking up cybersecurity to be exact.
All right, since you're black, we gotta crack a 40 and pour some out, man.
Nah, man, we need to. Hey, you know what? You know what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna tell a young brother about you. Next young brother I see, I'm gonna tell him about you.
Or point him to the channel, and so he can hear some intelligent conversation.
Or that. Well, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be like, I talk
I'm
to
not a good
brother,
role
hey,
model.
bro,
I try to be.
I can't tell your age by looking at you, but you're not 18, are you?
No.
Deron? I don't know.
Who, 18? No, I'm 40.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
I
So
was
I
gonna
wasn't gonna
say,
call you out, but I'm saying you ain't 18. So I'm gonna tell a brother about you because I
that's
met a
pretty
dude
picking.
today that's 40, bro, that started college this week. You know what I'm saying? So for all of them
Hey,
little 16-year-olds that tell me they can't do it, I'm gonna call bullshit because I saw you do it.
exactly. Especially, look, I'm working on my third associate's degree, which is going then I'm gonna transfer to get my bachelor's. But I did this, and man, I just retired from the military, so
There you go, man. I'm no
I
bullshit,
tell
bro. You
people,
think I'm bullshitting? I work with kids, man, for a living. Like I said I shouldn't get paid for it, and I look for examples. I like to tell stories. I want them to hear real shit about what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I am going to tell a brother about you. School's about to start, bro. You'll be an easy story to tell. Not that your story is
I'm
simple,
gonna tell
but
some
I
people
can send a
about you too.
message. So
hmm,
that's what we do, bro. That's what we do. We
I'm
gotta
just
point
kidding.
out good examples because we got too many negative examples that are thrown in our face. So when we come across
right?
positive examples, right? Like you doing your homework. What we do don't make you know never mind. But somebody needs to know you doing your homework. And every young person I contact for the next week, I'm gonna tell them about you. School's about to start, bro. They need to hear about you.
Mm-hmm. Real shit. Appreciate that. Shit, use my story. I tell anybody, if anything out of my life that I talk about can help somebody else and give somebody some inspiration in their lives, then I did my job.
Right. And also,
Already.
if you want to talk about school, and I'll give you another story to talk to the kids about, Damien,
Yes, sir.
meet my brother Raphael. There's no fucking excuse for anybody after you talk to this young man.
What you mean? Is he meet him? I need to meet him. Is what you're saying?
No, he'll pop on the panel here and there. You'll get a chance to talk to
I think
him.
I've seen him on a video before, but I don't. It's hard to tell who's talking on YouTube, but I can tell who's talking on here.
Yeah, we'll hook you up and you guys can sit and chat. And after you hear his story, there's no excuses for anybody.
Ah, man, dude. I mean, I know we're on air, and I don't like to give too much of my business, but all of us got stories, bro. And I'd love to hear. I like to hear anybody's, but dude, like young people, a lot of young people, like not to say they ain't been through no shit, but years, man. The more years you walk this earth, oh man, it can eat you up, and that's really my message. Like, hey, don't let it eat you up. You gotta safeguard yourself against this shit, because we already know what can eat us up, but they just blindly walk right into it. You know what I mean? So, I'd love to take on some more examples. I got
Yeah.
When do we
shit.
start teaching them that like 1776 was a hoax and the U.S. is a corporation, not a landmass?
Well, I
When
mean, when do we
when do we
start?
take it back?
Oh,
Well, I
When do we
mean,
take it back to the all the way though? You know what I mean? Or do we just
nah, I feel
continue
you.
to follow into the illusion and tell them be good little illusion supporters and keep your head
Well,
down and tail
it's
now
tuck?
it's
when
like
did
they say,
America become a corporation then?
Oh,
1977. So here's the deal. History is written by the
17.
winners,
Yeah.
right?
That's
So
why it's called his story.
so the thing is that there's always going to be negativities that are excluded. Now, hey, a lot of people say, history repeats itself. And I agree with that to a certain extent. But here's what I'm saying. In the here and now, right?
Hmm.
If you could tell me how it would benefit somebody in the here and now to understand that 1776 was a hoax, I go teach it to my kids today.
Because your
So,
taxes are because the Queen Elizabeth has amended your Social Security to in taxes, and
well,
it's in the Social
but
Security Act of 1997, and
what
it
I'm
gets
asking you is tell me how to
and,
offset it.
and that
Tell me
your
how to
labor
be.
is actually being taxed, so that's really called slavery because you don't really know where your taxes are going because the all of the black ops missions and all of the things that are going on and some of the lies that are being told by some of the largest industries, all the billions that are gone to CERN for the Europeans and all the, when they found out that there is no bozo particle.
No,
I guess
what
if
I'm
you
wanting
really
you.
want to teach anything, you can teach how your courts are bullshit. Those are
Right.
Well,
All of
no,
that shit.
I'm really
Exactly.
asking how you
How
offset it.
the judges, lawyers, and shit have to, you know,
I
um,
ain't never been to court,
relinquish their citizenship and then come have authority over you and your country. It's like
but
you
how do you
basically
beat the
tying an oath
system?
over to. I'm sorry.
How do you beat the system is what I'm asking you.
by
How,
teaching more people, your neighbors, your children, the truth, so that they spread the truth. It'll take a few generations because they have this system in place to where the illusion is supported by our beliefs.
right.
If we can teach them not to believe this stupid shit and understand the truth, then the illusion can't be supported anymore. And so when nobody votes, you can't just put somebody in office because we vote for the lesser of an evil every time. I'm not voting for a lesser
No,
evil.
I
You know what I
understand
mean?
the
It's out of
system is
300
flawed.
million people that only 3 people I get are Bush and these
So,
fuckers.
so here's the
Yeah.
thing in the here and now to offset that for me. Well, I teach
Hey.
kids don't ever work for anybody. You know what I mean? That's number one for me.
Right? Always
Being
have your own
entrepreneur.
business, or yeah.
Right.
See, but
Yeah.
the thing is then they regulate your business and they eliminate your prosperity by giving you too many leaps and hurdles and shit for your business. They allow their fascist companies to get control of top bids, so you don't even get the bids on large industry shit because their fascist companies do. And
Well,
it's
but
already in place.
but here's my offset to that, and that is if your goal is to be the highest earning person in your field.
No, not at all. It's just if I would like to have a better life than just being just like a renter or something like that.
No,
And
I
I want to start
understand.
my own cannabis grow, right? And let's say,
Right.
but I have regulations now because of these big firms and stuff that are lobbying to legalize it instead of decriminalize it like it should be, so that the legalizing it allows for all these regulations so the government can say, oh, you can only have 2 plants or 3 plants or some shit like that. But if you have this, fascist caregiver license that costs this much money with this $100 million
Right.
license insurance, then you can get the 99 plants,
Right.
and it's like, get the fuck out of here. It's a setup. It's like,
No,
it's to keep
I
people from
agree.
getting started. Keep you from
But
getting
but
started,
let's
so you
look
can't.
at what about relating that to an industry that's not fighting for decriminalization or legalization? For me, because personally, I work in mental health. You know what I'm saying?
Just say like
So
a painter. Just say like if you just want to be a painter. Well, no longer can you just get $100,000 liability in a right to work state and be a painter. You have to have a contractor's license. You have to go jump through leaps and hurdles that cost $600 in schooling, and then da 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 da, so that you can't just go and do a fucking job. You may have perfect skill set to do, and you have to. Answer business questions and all these things, tax questions, and have $5,000 in the bank for over 5 years, and show all this other kind of stuff. It's got nothing. It keeps you locked out if you're just some guy who has some skill and got a big break, and someone finally said, "Hey, you want to paint my house?" And you said, "Damn straight, man, because I've been working for other people for 15 years. I want to, you know what I mean? Use my
right.
skill. I know exactly what I'm doing. I've been making him millions of dollars. I run the whole crew myself. I do it all." So of course I can open my own stuff, but
But what do you want to
again,
do when you open your own stuff? That's what I'm saying. So and again, like I said,
I want to feed I want to feed my family, and you know what I mean. I want to have a big greenhouse. I want to.
Yeah, but you were
some
talking
land.
about taking over big bids though, and I don't think
No,
that we need big
well,
bids.
when I said big, I said big bids. I mean like paint the water tower. No contractors get that except for the tight inboard when it's supposed to
Yeah,
be open contracts
the
to the city.
mayor's nephew. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's nepotism, all kinds of shit. But the problem is that's supposed to be illegal, especially with
Right.
government contracts. But it's not. Halliburton picks up everything, right? Halliburton picks up everything. I mean, we could have 100 small businesses that are doing parts of whatever Halliburton's doing all by itself. We could be thousands of small businesses.
I mean, I was able to pick up a government.
Millions of small businesses. Halliburton does so much shit.
But I'm saying I was able to pick up a government contract with relative ease.
Hey, guys. I want to just stop you guys for a quick second,
Mm-hmm.
and I want one of our panelists to come in and speak.
Yes.
Tess, how you doing, Tess?
Hey, oops, hold up.
Are we still live?
Who is that? Yes, we are. Who is that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
That's our girl, Tess Nubian.
I don't know
Hey,
her.
what's up, guys?
I don't know her.
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good, guys.
Hello.
I would like for her to speak on the sovereign citizenship.
I don't know. I don't know her. Who is that? Has she ever been on our show before? Huh?
Yeah,
Hey,
like,
Black
hey,
Lives Matter.
like Hopper. Who this woman?
Right. That's Black Lives Matter. Hey, Black Lives
That's our BLM friend.
Matter.
oh no.
Hey, I got to
Hey.
get you once a night.
I would like for you to speak on sovereign citizenship.
Go ahead.
Hey.
Sovereign citizen on deck. Go right
Hey.
ahead. Now, tear
Oh,
this
was
up.
that KP?
Go
Hey.
for it.
Hey guys, I think my connection is.
No, you're good.
If not, you
No, we
just
can
cut
hear
the
you
video
perfectly.
off.
I hear multiple people. I'm gonna log out and come back in.
No, I'm
No,
gonna
no, no,
Am I-
no, no,
we're
no,
gonna
no,
mute
no.
You
ourselves.
sound good. You sound good.
If you have listen.
But I'm hearing like everybody at one time.
If you have YouTube
Oh, yeah.
on, kill the volume on YouTube.
Okay, I've got it on mute. I've got my YouTube muted. Okay,
Yeah,
let's see.
well, what you do is, too,
Yeah,
you
that should
go
be it.
on, just close the
Okay.
box, period. Just pop out chat. That way,
Okay.
too, your computer uses less resources.
Okay, that's it. Because I was like hearing everybody.
Yeah, always
I was
hit
like,
pop
whoa.
out chat and pop the chat out because your computer uses less resources when you pop the chat out.
Okay, cool. That'll work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was yeah, KP on the sovereign citizen. I was saying MJ sounded like that. The stuff that he was saying, I was like, he's a
That's
sovereign
boy,
citizen
that.
going on right there. Huh?
Oh, okay.
Who's that? MJ?
MJ, yeah,
The gentleman that was talking?
yeah, that's
MG.
MG right there. First
MG. Okay.
the first time,
Yeah.
first fight I got into online was with MG.
Well, yeah, I'm not really KP. I'm not really versed on that. I mean, I kind of looked up some stuff after the whole Corin Gaines thing went down, but
Right.
yeah, I can't really speak on the sovereign citizenship. I don't know how people can. I know there's people out there that try to claim that, but I don't know how that's gonna work. It definitely didn't work out. Definitely didn't work out well for the young lady.
Yeah.
She was an idiot.
Oh, she won. I don't know what you're talking about. She got the prize.
No.
Served.
Well, you guys, to tie this into the conversation, you guys talking about prescriptions and all that stuff. I was listening. I was getting my grub on. That's why I didn't log on yet. But and speaking of Corin Gaines, I really think the only video I watched of her was the 20-minute interaction with the cops. But I think something was wrong with that young lady because no, I really do. No, trust me. I've dealt with people. I mean, any person that just look at the point. And I'm not trying to switch the subject, but I'm going to tie it into the drugs. But any person, any mom, she's looking at her 5-year-old son like seriously saying, "Hey, fight a grown man." That girl, something was wrong with her. I don't know what her mental history was, but tying that in with drugs, I was listening to the conversation about prescription drugs and vaccinations. And one thing you guys, I know everybody knows, there's no money in the cure. I work with a lot of kids in the DSS system, and I'm gonna tell you right now. The first thing, anytime a child goes into DSS, the first thing those freaking doctors do when they do their, their assessment, they automatically put those kids on drugs. Yeah. It doesn't matter if they need it, and it's so sad. And these kids get in these foster, when they get caught in that whole cycle, they start medicating kids at 6, 7 years old for their whole life because they're in that system.
That's right.
Okay.
So, it's just a big mess.
There's no money in the cure. Where's the money?
Exactly. No money in a cure.
Where's the money?
Treatment of
and then
absolutely, it's in the treatment.
Treatment and creation of false, mental disorders to treat.
Oh yeah, I'm with you on that one. And I've dealt. My mom. She's not with me anymore, but she had. This is back in the day. They put my mom on drugs. These like antidepressants, and I watched my mom whole demeanor change. So I've always been against medication, and especially when you're talking about trying to treat anxiety, all of depression, stuff that, because these doctors don't care. All they're going to do is write a script. They don't.
I just wanted to ask what did the antidepressants do?
For my mom in my mother's case? Well, this is old school. So they put my mom. This is back when they used to do lithium. So they had my mom on lithium, and I'm telling you, I watched my mom just deteriorate. You know what I mean? I don't think, and I was a child at the time, so I don't think like a lot of these doctors, not unless you got big money, They put you on something. They don't really regulate that to see if it's actually curing what you need. Or, well, it's not really curing anything, or helping your cause. They just keep writing scripts. They just keep writing scripts.
And for folks, to let you guys know, what she's talking about, lithium, it's like the step above laying on a table that's spinning around.
Right.
It is archaic.
Hey,
Exactly.
let me interject real quick.
Shit in batteries.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and that, like I said, that's old school. Later in my mom's life, my mom left me at 62, but later in her life, when we got older, and I wasn't home, but we had to regulate on these doctors. It's like, wait a minute, you're not giving my mom that. Hold up. They just it's just whack. I've got a real sore spot when it comes to medications and stuff like that, because I see what it does to people. I see what they're doing to these kids out here, and it's ridiculous. It's criminal, actually.
Okay. If I may, here's from a personal perspective. First of all, I take medication daily for a mental health issue that I'm dealing with, and I don't try to project. So I'm just gonna say my piece, right?
Right.
So
And no disrespect to you.
Nah, I don't take it. I don't take it. So here's the deal. I watched my brother die at 12. It fucked me up, right? Just straight up, as it would anybody. So, I try to deal with it, myself, and I felt like, I want to be a strong dude all the way from 12 into adulthood. I buried myself in my career, school, kids. I just buried myself, and I never dealt with the problem. And then it hit me heavy, like in my late 20s, early 30s. I'm 38 right now. And I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you all, from personal experience, without these medications, I would be unbearable. I wouldn't be able to communicate with you. Like me and MG would not have been able to have that conversation, because I would have become irate. And it's not because I want to be like that. And it's not because I haven't tried to willingly control it. It's just that there's something that triggered me, man, when y'all walk way back when. And through other experience that compounded it and not dealing with it at the time. So I can't say that mental health issues aren't real, although I will agree with you as now I myself am not a mental health provider, but my wife is, and we run a mental health agency where I offer life skills programs. She offers therapy and things like that, but does not medicate. So the thing is, from now that I see it from that perspective, we help a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and there are definitely people, and if it's helping you, by all means, totally.
You're not a psychiatrist
if you need it,
right? Is what we're saying. You're not a psychiatrist. You don't have a doctor, right? You're not prescribing drugs.
No, we're not. But we are able to diagnose.
That's another level of helping them altogether. You're adding a non-nefarious style.
We still diagnose with the same criteria. No, but here's what
you diagnose because of a criteria given to you on a piece of paper that says, by a pharmaceutical company, no less.
No, bro. No, that's not.
This particular behavior.
Had I not seen the process that these people go through to become educated, these are scientific theories that they study. Like my wife has never been influenced by any pharmaceuticals. She's only been influenced by what she has studied and read up on
her
herself.
Textbooks.
Yeah,
listen, brother. She writes textbooks. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I was trying to say earlier. These researchers really want to help people. I think we gotta separate it, because if we say we disagree with the medicines, that's one thing. But if we're saying that the mental illness don't exist, that's another thing.
All right, I'm gonna say this.
Definitely not. That's not that.
Damien,
that's not what I'm saying.
As a human being, you do know sometimes pampering an issue actually creates more of an issue out of non-pampering an issue.
I understand the argument that people make that
and
have
they create
not walked
these
in
big
my
rifts
shoes.
in mental disturbance by making you believe that it's supposed to be a big rift in mental disturbance for a long time.
Bro.
And
listen,
making
bro, I don't want to be like this.
I'm going to look here.
I'm not saying everyone is like that.
No, that's why I only talk in personals, because you're making it sound as if I'm programmed, right? But 10 minutes
I'm actually
ago
talking
you were
in
praising
personals
me.
myself as well. That's why I'm having what I'm saying.
I'm going to interject on this one, guys.
Come on. Let's hear it.
Damien, I have to absolutely ride with your side on this one. mental
I'm
illness.
not trying to get nobody on my side. I'm just saying but I feel you, man.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say yes. There is a such thing as mental illness or mental disorders, man. And West people go out and research this. This shit is devastating to people,
There's
and
no argument that there
and
is mental
if
disorders.
you can take
But if you
medications to
look at
regulate
the
it,
number of
by
mental
all means
disorders
do
that
it.
have been recently just discovered, it's crazy funny because these are already just, you know, a lot of these things are environmentally, you know, they're
Yes, a lot of those.
poor income,
And that's
you
what
know,
we said in the last show. Yes, a lot of it
quality
is
systems, and
environmental, and some is chemical.
you got people wanting
Nah, but I
more.
think it's a combination of both, man.
Yeah,
And then you can do
vaccinations.
the both. And if whatever it takes to get yourself better,
It's the
you need
same
to take
government,
this route.
right, that's producing the information that's supposed to make you better, is the same government that's also poisoning you to make you sick in the first place.
Bro,
So
they
you
didn't.
might want to
Hey,
watch out where that information's coming from to make you
I hear
better.
what you're saying, but I
That's
can
all
I
I'm
can
saying. That's
I
all
can
I'm saying.
And I
pinpoint
agree with that.
personal experiences. Like there are
Yeah.
things that I've experienced. Like say for example,
Just be
how
safe.
many of y'all been in a car wreck
I have.
on the panel? So
Not a
probably
bad,
okay,
not
probably
bad
all
ones.
of us, right? But like you, like the car wreck bugged you, right? But after you got over the aches and pains, and if you weren't really injured, you got over it after a while. I'm telling you that I ain't got over this shit. I try. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
tried several different things. But I'm telling you, a combination of working through it, because you know, man, when you and I'm not trying to project, but for me, I would imagine that if you lose a sibling when you're a child yourself, it makes you question your mortality way earlier than you should.
I don't know if you're ever
Yeah.
supposed to get over it. It's a managing it thing that you do.
Exactly.
We have
And I
a
think part of
judge
my
for that, do you?
management, the
You ever
best management system I've come up with in the last 27 years is medication.
maybe you should smoke marijuana and back down off that other shit and have the
Hey,
natural cannabinoids in your endocrine
hey,
system.
listen,
Your,
bro.
your endocannabinoid
If we
system work
weren't
out.
live, I'd tell you that 24/7, and it don't
Okay.
help. You feel me?
Yeah.
So edit that out, Dre, for me.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I
No,
Well,
love
what
you.
you
Damien.
just said. No, what you just said. There's 24 hours in a day, and it's not helping you think right.
No big deal. Yeah, nothing to edit there. Yeah,
Well,
Yeah,
Damien.
nah. Yeah.
they got
Damien.
CBDs and
Yes.
stuff that are very,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
legal and
Damien,
stuff.
I commend you. I commend you. I mean, it's hard for people to reach out and get help when they need it. And I'm all for medication. If it's helping you, you stay with that.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And I'm glad, it sounds like you and your wife have those expertise, especially, because you're looking at that and you're like, hey, this is helping me.
We
You're
not
not
right.
just smiling.
We
You're
not
not just
all.
smiling. Like I've seen
I
so
stayed
many
away from
times.
it as long as I could. I stayed
Right,
away as
and I
long as I
commend
could.
you.
Right.
I commend you or anybody that has to get medication, because sometimes it's a chemical thing, or sometimes it's a traumatic event and people can't. So you do what you have to do. My experience, I've seen it on the other side where the doctors don't care. And like I said, I just can't working with DSS. And I'm telling you, as soon as a child comes in, that's the first thing. I think
Right.
that's the first. I think they're already writing a script, and I just
Yeah.
think that's horrible. Just because a kid is in a bad situation, they're automatically putting these kids on drugs.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this from personal experience, right? You don't
Yeah.
think that this is there's an issue that's being exposed that was otherwise uncovered, and until they are in that system, we don't know that they need to be medicated. Now, maybe medication ain't the way. So let's
Right.
use the word treated, just to get away
Okay.
from medication. Let's say they needed to be treated. They were in an environment that did not monitor their health care, mental or physical, likely,
Mhm.
right? Is
Right,
there
yeah.
a chance that they really did need it? Some type of treatment.
There could be situations, but I'll tell you, the kids that I've seen, but I'm not a medical professional. I'm just telling you,
I
most of,
understand.
kids, when, a kid gets in DSS for a multitude of reasons, right? They're being
Right.
abused sexually, whatever.
I'm sorry. Hey, let me do
But
this.
that
Let me do this
right.
let me do this for our listeners, because I know we're all over the country. I'm in Texas, so I want to make sure this is a common department. What is the
Okay.
acronym? What is the acronym DSS?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in South Carolina, and it's Department of Social Services.
Okay. I just wanted to clear that
Yeah.
up. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point because it is different for other people. But like what I've seen, like I said, it's just an automatic reaction. It's like, okay, we got to
Right.
get this kids in the system. ADHD, that's the number one. Number
I'm,
one, kid got ADHD. Give him drugs.
yes, that is
And let me tell you,
overdiagnosed. That
let me
is
tell you,
overdiagnosed.
let me tell
Yes.
you too. Let me tell you too, because when you get these kids that they get stuck in group homes, let me tell you,
Right.
you got people that are not making any money that work in these group homes. They might have 30, 40, 30 kids, bad, let's say bad kids, or 30 kids that, can you imagine
I
having
might
30
have to.
kids?
Right.
They're medicating these kids
Right.
so to make sure they go to sleep at 9 o'clock.
I might
They're
have
sedating
to
them.
partly
They're
disagree
sedating them.
about the overdiagnosis of ADHD because I have my stepson has ADHD, and trust me, it's not overdiagnosed at all.
No. Hear me out, brother. And I don't. And I want to be respectful. I'm not
No, go
saying.
ahead.
I'm not saying that there aren't people that have it, but I'm saying that it is over from a mental health. Like from my agency's perspective, we see it diagnosed in cases in which when we get our hands on the kid, they do not have it. And this is common. This is
Especially
common
with
across the
black
board.
boys.
It's common
Especially
across the
with black
board.
boys.
Well, yes, but I think
That's
it's across the board, and I think what it is just to offset just a normal childhood energy.
And I'm gonna give you something else to think about when you talk about ADHD, especially in boys. Look at the relationship or the thought process of those boys diagnosed, and look at the relationship with their biological fathers.
With their who? I'm sorry.
Biological fathers.
Oh,
It's
Nine times
non-existent.
boys
Yeah,
act out because that relationship is strained.
I would
I'd
say,
have to
yeah.
look into
I mean,
that.
because I could add to that because I'm in that situation now where my stepson's biological is non-existent, and I don't know if that would be a contributing factor because I don't think he's seen him since 3, maybe 4, 2, maybe 3.
Think about it,
I
guys.
believe
Most of the time when they say ADHD, they're like, oh, he doesn't pay attention, he's fidgeting. Think about when you guys were young, when you were young kids,
it's
back in
just
the day when we
energy.
were young kids. It was just energy. We didn't get
Yes.
slapped with a label and put on medication. That was just like, hey, you got your butt spanked. You better sit still in school. I mean, it's the same thing. Now it's like, oh, he doesn't pay attention. Well, he's a growing kid,
And then, Chess, I'm gonna ask you this as well.
Yeah.
How many people in this chat room and on the panel have a college degree?
I do.
How many of us?
I do.
Okay,
Yeah,
how
probably
many
all of us.
don't?
Yeah. Oh.
Many of us, many people who are labeled ADHD, you put them into a cookie cutter system
Mm-hmm.
and tell them everybody has to learn the same way.
Right. They're bored. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Well,
So you get bored as a kid. What do? You just fuck off. You're like, I don't learn this.
Especially with boys.
Well,
Especially.
hold on. Let me interject. And again, personal perspective. Here's the deal, and I would have been labeled as ADD right now. In this day and age. Here's the
Right
deal.
now.
This is
But
my
who?
hustle. This was my hustle. Get my work done as fast as possible, as good as possible, so I could fuck off the rest of my time. That was the formula, from kindergarten to 12th grade. So the thing is that I think that classroom management, or maybe too many kids in the classroom, or maybe just fucked up parents.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Their environment is negative.
Yeah.
It is not a good environment for learning. And then you're squared in, and you're single file line, and you're coloring the fucking lines, and you're taught in a certain particular way that constrains your free thought and your productivity.
Well, it doesn't really prepare you.
And the natural people, we're natural ass beings, and we're stuck in a square environment, and it doesn't feel right. It's true, man.
Yeah, well, it does limit individuality. Yeah, no question. But I'm thinking that what we're expecting of these kids, like say for people like me, they would have said I needed special education when I was busting my ass to get the work done. You feel me? Just because when my work was done, I would start cutting up. So I need special education. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So,
You know,
but or I need a
ED
pill.
classes and
I
shit
need
too.
a pill. I need a pill to sedate me. You know, nah, that's not. You know, that's not really the formula. So that's why I say it's overdiagnosed. Not out
Right.
of disrespect for people that really suffer from the disease. You know,
Yeah.
because it is what it is. You
Like,
know,
what's your
I
idea of
think
genius? You know, you see a guy who can like look at something and imagine what it is for, you know, the rest of his life and go draw it down like
Right.
exactly the way he saw it, and you blows your mind when you see it. But he's in special ed class, you know,
Right.
because he has a
yeah.
different frame of thought. But he's a fucking genius. But he's sitting
You
there in a different, you know, in a negated place now. He's negative. You know, he's in a place where the kids are sort of thought of as lesser. Other kids kind of laugh at them. You know what I
Right.
mean? And you know, and you got geniuses in there. You
yeah,
know,
I
not
think
all of
that
them, but
And
yeah.
that's
there
what
are
I'm
a
trying
few
to prove.
and stuff
That what I'm trying to say is kids
because
are
of this
different.
labeling.
You just can't say this is the standard, this is the way that kids learn, and
Agreed.
anything outside of that is something wrong with that child.
That's so
And
right.
then let's take some medication so you can be like the others. So
Hey,
the
but
other
You
let's
kick
do
them back in line. You
let's
know.
say this too then. If you want to educate your kids different, make enough money to do so, or don't have too many kids that you can't afford to do so.
Or have some sort of make sure that parents have some sort of say in what's really going on in the school
Oh,
system
hey, nah,
instead of this
don't
dictatorship.
participate.
Yeah, well, even participating, you're still under a dictatorship where there's the
No, I'm saying
dude.
opt out. Like, don't participate. I'm saying don't
Right?
send your
Yeah,
kids to public schools. Don't
yeah,
do it.
we've had to
Yeah.
homeschool and
Yeah,
things,
don't do it. That's
you know,
cool. That's fine. But
it
the
eliminates.
thing is that you got people that aren't raising their kids right. You know, they are sending them to school unprepared to conduct themselves properly in the classroom. It's distracting other kids. Then those kids are then being disruptive, and now they've lost control of the classroom. So the thing is that we can say the government system is fucked up, but
Well,
what
that
I'm going to
couldn't
tell you,
happen in a classroom with less than 40 kids in
true,
it.
that is right, and you would not have that if you took your kids to a private school.
Well,
You're absolutely right.
yeah, well, we wouldn't have to worry about our energy bills either if they told us the truth that oil is
Hey,
abiotic
hey,
and it's not a fossil fuel.
in 2 years, hey,
You know what
mark
I
my
mean?
words. Just to be fair, in 5 years, I will be 100% solar and wind, so they won't have any say for me.
Yeah,
You gotta opt out of the system, bro. You gotta opt out of the system.
Get
It's
off the
personal
grid.
choice. You gotta opt out. Like my son, when he left here, he went to a private school to college because
depending on
his
where you
mama
live,
worked her ass off. You know what
Jermaine,
I'm saying?
depending on where you live, you have to still continue to carry some sort of an electric bill with your energy company.
I understand. I don't.
or
I'm
you
just
will
saying.
be condemned.
Okay,
I
yeah,
don't.
because
Well,
they do. You see how sneaky they are about that shit, though. I saw
nah.
you've looked into what I'm talking about.
Yeah, of course.
They've
I
got these
mean,
little
I
sneaky
won't.
legislation in some states that will, if you try to opt out of the energy grid, you actually they'll come try and take your kids away and do all kinds of stuff.
Not in Texas.
There you go.
Not where I'm gonna be.
Look at all this. Look at all this. Y'all dropping all that sovereign citizenship stuff. Getting off the
Nah,
grid.
I'm not. That's not what I'm saying because some of that stuff scares me. What
Yeah,
I'm
me
saying
too.
is that I want to be personally independent
Any groups, you
of
know.
anything I can be independent of. If I can get my own goddamn Wi-Fi, I
Yeah.
wouldn't call AT&T. You know what I'm saying?
Have
I do.
have any of you guys? Are you guys familiar with Dr. Umar Johnson at all?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, man, he's too extreme for me.
Little race
yeah,
baiting,
Yeah.
he's extreme. I mean, but he
He don't
talks
like
a lot
me.
about. Well, right, yeah. Well, he talks a lot about the education system and what he's trying to do with the school and all of that. But yeah, I don't
It's
agree
not
with all this stuff.
plausible.
Some of it's good. Some of it's
sound-
good.
Cliff
Not
rights
all
all
of it.
day
great.
long, but as soon as you take that one left that takes me off the cliff, I'm pretty good
Yeah.
on trying
I
to
got
get
you.
any
I
The deal is
rationale
that I'm
built from you.
logical. I'm a logical dude. I mean, when you hit me with emotion, you
Yeah.
kind of lose me. And his
But
shit ain't plausible. It's not
right.
plausible.
He talks truth about the school system, some of the stuff that we were talking about, as
Yeah.
far as
But he
you know,
focuses
with
as
the
if
kids.
it's
He ain't set up
happening,
no
you know,
system where we can opt out.
Oh, I
to
got you.
complete a
Well,
separation vibe. You know, if
Okay, well, what we're not going to do here is we're not going to debate his issues
right.
with Javits
Right.
Oh,
later.
please don't. No,
What?
no,
Why you
no.
think he'll come on here? Is it really like that, man? I'm just chilling in my garage. It's really like that.
No.
I mean, he can come after
Damon,
me, but I ain't got shit for him to take.
Damon, there's
What
a
are you
lot of
saying?
idiots out here, man.
Oh yeah, well that's my bad. I was just because I did watch a lot of his stuff talking about
Hey,
how the school system
I've seen
works
him as a
and
gentleman. I don't. Yeah, most.
right,
here's the
right.
thing. The guy. Here's what I'm gonna say. Just
You
to
can
just
say it's
unpause. Just so
preferences.
because I don't want to bring no heat on nobody else's shit. This ain't my show, so I'll say this.
Yeah.
I respect him, right? He's an educated
He's a
man.
decent guy. I think he's a decent
He
guy.
presents a lot of shit that is real in terms of his
Right.
education and experience.
Right, right, yeah.
It don't, a lot of it don't sit well with what I believe, and that's fair.
I got you. My bad.
I
But
mean,
am I saying your name right? Darren?
The bus.
Duran, yes.
I'm sorry, Darren. I think you were getting ready to talk about your nephew or somebody with ADHD. I'm sorry, and I kind of
No, that was
cut you
fine.
off.
No, it was all
Oh, okay,
good.
okay.
It was my stepson, but yeah, y'all
Okay.
good.
Yeah, man, we got a lot of work to do and to think about our government and diet and lobbyists and how all this shit is it's just a revolving. It's pretty much like a spin cycle. You put it in there, you just keep going round and round. We're all a fucked. Just break it down.
Hey, if I
Well,
learn, go ahead.
oh no, I said we all know we're in a wicked world. We live, we get through it. We try to make positive changes in our little area, and that's about all you can do because
Right.
some of this stuff is just if I had a magic wand, I'd be like, hey, fix everything.
Yeah.
But
And you know what? And you guys talking about living off the grid. I wish more people would get on board.
Yeah, because then things
But
wouldn't be so hard to get, to get a
hey,
hold of and
I'm
do.
not trying to buck the system though. The deal is that I've been saying it. I'm just opting out. Like it's some shit I don't need y'all for. That's how I feel. Like
Exactly.
I don't need your electricity. I'm gonna put a windmill up out here in the country. And
Yeah,
I'll be
it's just
good. You know what I'm saying?
business.
Yeah.
It's just business, man.
Yeah, I just
You know,
opt out.
That's all it is.
I don't want
The
to
way
participate.
you look at it, it's just
Most of us are too lazy to even do that.
Well, no, it's just I'm
you
not
get
gonna
the
lie.
laziest man, the hardest job.
Uneducated.
He'll find the
It's
easiest
difficult.
way.
It's difficult. Here's the deal, bro. I could choose to buy every pair of Jordans, or I could choose to retire at 45. You feel
Thank
me?
you. Thank you.
So I just chose to.
I got the
focus on
Jordans
different
too.
shit.
I know how you feel.
I ain't never
No, I'm
owned
just
a pair of
joking.
Jordans because I ain't never owned them. Not because I can't buy them, because I don't think they're worth it.
I mean, think about it. If you drop your electric
Nikes from
bill,
Ross, though.
if you drop your electric bill just in the summer or winter here in Michigan, it's like $300 a month.
Bro, hey, KP,
Yeah,
I
some
bet you,
insulation,
bro.
man.
Hey, bro, KP, I guarantee you, I can save you 50 cents right now if you go unplug that old ass VCR you ain't been using. It ain't doing nothing but blinking 12, and it's burning up electricity.
Any long extension cords too? Yeah, you lose it in the friction.
Yeah.
You know what's
Unplug
funny?
that VCR. That's 50 cents a month.
And it don't even get wasted. What happens is they feed it back down out the ground back to the neighbor and then flip it and then use dirty electricity to the neighbor and then they feed it back to the next neighbor. It's not like it gets used and it's gone. And it's like everybody's paying and recycling and paying for the same electricity over and over again.
Yeah, it's energy, man. That's what's weird to me.
Yeah.
If you can
That's
find a
what
way
I
to
always
produce,
say,
if
bro.
you can find a way to
Yeah.
produce that energy, you should be able to do it.
Hey,
If you ride a bicycle to watch your television, ride that bicycle. Shit.
Thank
that's
you.
how they do in sports stadiums.
You
That's
shoot
how they do
anyway.
it. That's how they do it in Cambodian prisons. That's pure speculation, but I
Sorry, I
imagine
don't
it
know
to
where
be
you
like
got that, but that shit's funny.
in my wicked sick mind. But you pictured it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Solar
Oh,
energy
my
guys.
TV.
In time, just get a
My
fucking
turn on
wood
the
stove
mic.
to heat your house.
Yeah. It's just we got to go back to the primitive, man.
The Cambodians had the hardest of it out of most of us.
Bro, that was insensitive. I mean, that was off the cuff, but it was funny.
Well, look here, guys. It's getting late. I gotta get up in a couple of hours and go to work.
Man, don't go fuck with the man.
Yeah, I don't know how to add him. He doesn't give me any.
I gotta get back up in like 3 hours and go to
high
work.
side.
KP, you selling out. You selling out tonight. You selling out tonight, KP.
Yeah, I got a coon for a while, guys.
Time for the box.
Go ahead.
So,
Put
yeah,
your
my
mask
stuff,
on.
man. I love all you guys.
Bye, KP.
You too, man.
Bye.
Take it easy,
Take care,
bro.
man.
One love. One love.
All right.
My pleasure, man.
I'm sitting up here. Y'all all right? Because I'm getting all my homework done.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
We're going to have to start putting curfews on you.
I'm gonna have to
You
put
need to be
myself on the
focused.
charger.
You need to be focused.
Hey, this man is 40. He don't need nobody to tell him nothing. He gonna do what need to be done.
Yeah. he's a baby. Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah.
I heard you say you just retired, right?
Yeah, I retired from the military.
Air
in
Force?
June.
Air Force?
No, Army.
Okay, I won't hold that against you.
Communication
Oh,
specialist.
Oh, she got jokey jokes. No, I got my homegirl from Chicago. She's in the. We worked on it at a joint unit together, and we do that every day. Between the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines, working in the joint unit was.
Yeah.
We just sit there and rag on each other all day.
Well, congrats.
So,
Yes, thank you.
so how long were y'all in the military folks on the panel?
I did 26.
Wow.
I
What?
did.
Hold on. Let me flip over to your screen. Look in the
Oh.
Quit playing.
Hey, you
did
missed
26?
the we were guessing ages last night, or no, the other night when I was on.
What y'all guess mine is? 20 what?
24, 24,
I
not
would
a
say,
day, 24.
I probably already said it. I ain't tripping
Yeah, but I did 22.
already.
Cool, that's what's up.
On that note, I want to get their last say-so on the round. I think we've been on for 2.5 hours now, haven't it? Has it been? We'll go over to the after show open topic. So just free for all.
Final word.
Final words, go through the panel. Everybody can get their say while I'm setting up the next show now. And while we take that break, please like, share, subscribe, and definitely click that donate link down there. We thank you guys for watching with your host, Judge Dre.
Well, I'm sorry I got on late because it seems like it was a good discussion, and definitely, when you need help, seek it, and if you need medications, take them. do what you need to do.
I ain't taking
Damien, take your shit.
But don't let them
doctor,
drug your kids. Don't let them drug your kids. Do
Why
your
not?
due diligence.
Yeah, do your due
That's it.
diligence.
Yeah.
Why not? Let them drug your kids.
All right, here we
I
go.
got you,
Here's
It
my
helps.
final word. My final word is simply, it has to be obvious that I won this debate. You know what I'm saying? I'll be about to pick up my trophy later. You know what I'm saying? I'd like to give a shout out first and foremost to me for the shit that I said. And second of all, I'd like to say thank you to me again for being cool with y'all. Nah, I'm high side. Yeah, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all listening to me and putting up with me.
Hell yeah.
I appreciate everybody for coming out to the show.
I had a good time talking with you, Domain.
We're just gonna go to another episode, so the show is not over.
Y'all gonna make me go get on the computer. I've been running around with this iPad talking about I'm gonna get on this video game.
Where you can charge, man.
Oh yeah.
I don't even do the video
guys.
games no more since I started doing this. I ain't played the game in so long. Yes.
Hey, you mind if I make a quick announcement?
Go right ahead, Leslie.
Hey, there's a main hangout that pretty much everybody's in.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to be added to that, we're just going to keep that one open from now on because we've been opening a brand new one every day, and it's kind of hard getting everybody together to pass, information about the new shows and things like that.
Right.
Even when we're offline, there's usually people on there 24/7. So
right.
We're all hanging out, bullshitting, talking,
Right.
So if you guys want to be added, just drop the people on the panel, drop your email address, Hangouts chat, and I'll add you. People in the chat room if you want to be added. Just drop your email address, and I'll delete it as soon as I copy and paste it.
I mean, is it the one that y'all been talking in today?
Yeah, I just changed the title. It's the title of it is called Main Hangout Do Not Close.
Oh, it says free from symptom on mine.
Yeah, that's the old one. So just
okay, it got to refresh. Okay, cool. So I'm already in there. I don't need to do anything.
No. You're on the old one. So drop your email address so I can add you to the latest one.
All
and
right,
then the main one. That way we won't have to worry about adding you again and all that stuff. You'll be on.
Right.
Hey,
cool.
Hey, Chris, is that good right here? You said in the Hangout chat?
Yep, that's good. I got you. So I'll add you to this one, brother.
All right.
All right. And on that note, guys, I will go ahead and I will post the link to the next show. The link to the next show has been posted in the Google chat and in the regular chat. That's where we're going next. I appreciate you guys for watching the show. Thank you. Thank you, and we'll see you on the flip side. Say bye, everybody.
Bye.
Take care, y'all.
Deuces.
All right.